So these three questions. So let's see who would like to go first and share.
Okay, I'll kick off. So it's been a somewhat tumultuous 14 months where the earthquake has shaken the earth and nowhere has been devoid of any vibrational disruption to our patterns. And our family's all doing well. We've had 2 collapsed businesses to deal with, and yet remain very optimistic and positive. And so we're taking it one day at a time. None of us know what's going to happen tomorrow morning or even later this afternoon. So we're staying present, being very mindful of what we're putting into this present moment. And it's brought us together as it's brought many families. I think there's been trials and tribulations around the world about being locked down. But for us, it's been a time of really generating the beautiful love that we have for each other, and to be able to spend so much time together, which was precious before, but even more so now. So we're pretty well under our feet, each other's feet, for 24 hours a day, although the kids have gone back to school, and that's a great relief for them. What I'm passionate about now is I've always said that crisis is the driver of change, and our world is in crisis across the board. The economy, politics, religion, everything that we felt was stable and reliable has now been shaken and shifted, and it has to be dismantled. We are slowly but surely dismantling the old paradigm, taking with us what's needed for the new paradigm: indigenous wisdom, permaculture, conscious parenting, all of those things, and moving them with us, building a bridge into the new humanity. So I find this really exciting, that this is what it's taken to awaken the human family. And for sure, we're not all awakened yet, or even halfway there. And sometimes I despair of what it will take, that we've been locked down, people have lost jobs, lost their lives, been sick, so much disruption. And there's still a huge amount of awakening to go by. But there are extraordinary pockets of intelligent, wise choices being made, different choices from what we've had in the past. And I'm incredibly optimistic about where this is going. And what it is doing is it's bearing and the birth of resilience, and, to use the phrase that Sandy and Rod would know, a regenerative renaissance. We're doing something different, and that inspires me no end. So I'm happy with the way things are going. Of course, there's a lot of sadness and ill health and a lot of grieving people on the planet. I feel for them, but at the same time recognize that it's really happening in order for us to wake up and change our behavioral patterns, things that will be much more conducive to peace, harmony, and love on this planet, which all of us in this group want. So that's my 2 penneth worth. And I'm very happy to be sharing some time with you this afternoon. So thank you for the invite.
Thanks, Rick. Great. So who is next?
Okay, we'll chime in. Hi, Taryn. Nice to see you. You want to go first?
You can go first.
All right. Yeah. So, like you, Rick, it's been it's been pretty wild ride. I mean, we had Aurelia in Singapore last year, so we actually left Singapore, and then literally 2 days later, the border shut down. So that was pretty intense. And then we were in Singapore for 3.5 months, staying with Tish's brother and his wife, which was amazing because we got to do a lot of walks, and we felt very safe in Singapore for many reasons. And then like you, Rick, the two businesses that I've been stewarding for a long time, the owners of both of those businesses, which is the same family, actually decided that due to COVID and due to everything else, they wanted to take over both businesses. So that was a shock that happened in December and January. And before that, I was feeling incredibly fortunate and lucky because we're so close to Jakarta. And so our businesses are still okay. You know, a lot of people in tourism were hit really hard, including there in Bali. So I was feeling lucky for a little bit. And then our businesses got taken over. But at the same time, as Mel would know, Bitcoin went up and Ethereum went up. So the universe had my back somehow. And yeah, and then as Rick and Sandy know as well, I found this amazing cryptocurrency project and blockchain project in December, which has been really, really exciting. And that's, yeah, some of the people are in Bali, other people around the world. So I've been really sort of deeply engrossed in that. We created a new organization called Samara within that organization. It's called Seeds. And Sandy has been very active in terms of doing some events in Bali as well. But on a personal level, it's not easy because I really miss being there in Bali. I miss seeing all of you. Bali is really dear to my heart. And Tish and I love traveling, you know, so it's been tough to not be able to do that. But this little squirt and this woman here have been amazing.
The little squirt wasn't me. He was referring to Aurelia, by the way.
Yeah, she's a ball of joy and light. She just started walking like a few days ago. So it's just, yeah, it's been beautiful to have the time to spend together with family. That's been the really nice part about this all. And I agree with Rick as well. It's this crisis is kind of this opportunity for humanity to wake up, kind of a timeout for humanity, it seems, right? It's like, okay, guys, stay home, think about what you've done. And let's see where to go from here. But that's it from my side. Do you want to go next?
Shall I do a quick? Hi, everyone. I think I've met pretty much everybody, but maybe I can do a quick intro to myself. I'm Laetitia. I am half French, half Indonesian. I grew up in a number of different countries. Ended up finishing at GIS with Rod. And then I spent pretty much the last 20 years moving to different countries. I work in the field of education emergencies and refugee education. And then in 2017, I decided to come home and make Indonesia home again. And that's when Rod and I reconnected. And then we got married and had a baby. And I am learning the very delicate dance of multitasking as a new mom. I have gone back to work. So I work as an education development consultant. So at the moment, I'm looking at the Pacific region, and I'll be focusing on education innovation in Indonesia. And I am also a part-time doctoral student. So I'm doing my data collection on refugee education for my S3, for my doctorate. So life is full, but we count our blessings. So really lovely to meet everyone. And this is my first members gathering.
And she's also a close friend of Emma and JP, for those of you who haven't met them. Yeah, and passing it on to whoever feels inspired to go next. Lovely to see you all. Big hugs from us and kisses.
Thank you.
I'm happy to go next from Australia. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sandy. It's very cold here. I'm wearing a woolen jumper. I'm about to light the fire. So it's a very different context. I just basically wanted to say a massive thank you to all of you in particular who are there in Tamakatanu and who've been taking care of everything, on our behalf over the past yeah, longer than a year now. I certainly haven't been there since 2 Januaries ago. So just a really big thank you for all the caretaking, including, of course, the local team, but you guys who were there, and, you know, Mel and Christina in particular for taking care of my little home. But it's been a very strange time, as we all know, and Australia has been lucky in regards to managing COVID, but it's been pretty strong kind of lockdowns for a lot of last year. So now it's basically almost back to normal here. But yeah, it's been a particularly weird time. Everything's very slowed down, I think, as well. And people are kind of a bit scared to like hug and touch each other and go anywhere still. But yeah, we're feeling very lucky. Yeah, looking forward to it. We're really looking forward to just hearing everything that's been going on and like feeling that connection with you all again. It's been a while. So thanks for having me on the meeting.
Great. Anything else?
No, I mean, I think what everyone else is sort of touching on is yeah, sort of the state of play of everything. I guess for me at home, I've just been very focused on like our land here and, you know, planting lots of trees and doing lots of gardening. And we have a little puppy called Coco, who's a miniature dachshund that Mel and Christina have seen lots of photos of, and she's our little joy button. Yeah, so just sort of working away. Most offices are still closed, so everybody still kind of works from home. So it just feels like a bit of a cocoon, really, cocoon moment. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Who's next? Hi, Ajay.
Hi, Sandeep.
Nice to see you. It's
Long time
been
to see.
a long
I
time.
know.
How are you?
Oh, doing good, doing good. Just busy managing the school here, so it's pretty challenging times with the online education.
You in Delhi?
No, I'm in Pune, right outside Mumbai.
Oh, yeah, still in India though.
Yeah. So we have a school which is from all the way from kindergarten to grade 12, and about 220 students all across, and it is very much tried to mimic, give a flavor of openness and Bali. So we use a lot of wood and bamboo in the construction. I can show you a few pictures. Hopefully, it will give you some memories of what it is like there. So, if we have time, I can do that. So yeah, so that is really what has kept Mona and I busy. I would say for all these the work that we do here, and that is really what keeps us on our toes day in and day out. And obviously, while we are in this pandemic, everything is happening online, and we have had to reinvent ourselves in order to deliver what the parents are asking. And that is really where we are at this point in time. So shall I share some pictures?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Also, Ajay, is it Bridge is looking at the moment for a school for his children, so you might want to send him something about your school.
Bridge, I have been in touch with him. So I think that, but I believe he's moving into Delhi, and we are based in Pune.
Oh, he's in Slovakia,
Yeah,
and his kids have come from the north of India home, and now he's
yes.
looking at other boarding schools for them.
Ah, okay. Well, I think that is one thing, is that we are not a boarding; it is a day school.
Okay, that's what my question was.
Right. So I'll just share with you some pictures of what it is. Oops, where it is? Come on. Okay.
Coming out of the shower.
So this is just a painting that was done by one of the artists from West Bengal. It is a very typical painting called Patichitra. It's got the name of the school, showing farming and everything. And this is this is our toilets made out of thatched roof and mud walls. So this is the library, a 2-floor library with the waste of the sugarcane is used as a thatch on the roof.
Wow.
And all the and in the front you see all the vegetable beds, and next to it is the playground. And this is one of the classrooms. You can see it is made out of completely wood and bamboo, and bamboo mats and everything. Kids sitting and giving exams. And this is another open classrooms. Basically, again, it's all completely made out of wood and bamboo, and we get these black tiles that you see on the roof. They are handmade. In the front, you have a rice that was grown, that is dried up. So that's really what. So it is really about just getting kids closer to nature. So children start loving nature, then only they will think about protecting the nature. So all of our education, so our board is a Cambridge board, but the focus is on learning all the things in different disciplines through projects and activities connected to the meeting of our basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. So our kids are connected to, there's a farmer next to our school that has got about 20-25 cows. So our kids are connected to them. They have a rice field, so they go and sow rice, harvest it. We grow rice and vegetables on our campus. So there's a lot of emphasis on food and clothing and shelter in order to learn the basics that you want to do. So that's what we do. So been at it for the last 7 years and grown from 2 kids to 220 now. And our capacity is 250. We will not go beyond 250. So that is where we are. Right? That's the work that keeps Mona and I busy.
Ajay, I have a question for you.
Yes, you are.
Hi, good to see you. It's great to hear your report. Thank you so much.
It's great to see all of you.
Hey, we just want to have some firsthand account, please, from your own observation in your neighborhood, or in your city. What do you see with this with the COVID story? What we've seen on international news, there's all kinds of stuff, but what can you tell us?
Well, see, there is, I would say that India, being a country of almost 1.5 billion, I would say there are a lot of challenges, not to mention, obviously, the big news in the news was about oxygen shortage. So that has been, to large extent, been addressed. So, but at the same time, I don't think that the cases are going down right now. They are at the high level. Yet I would say when you look at as a percentage of the population, it is small, but in numbers it is large. So there is, I don't believe in, nobody is able to explain why is it spreading the way it is spreading. And I think so precaution is the need of the hour. Just like when you drive a car, you wear a seat belt. I think now wearing a mask and making sure that you wash your hands, and so it is, I think people have become a lot more aware. I think earlier when it started, people were hesitant to wear masks. Now they want to wear it. And in parallel, I believe there is a bit of vaccine hesitancy also, because there have been many cases where people have passed away after taking vaccines. Now, is it because of the vaccine or is it because of the other illnesses that people have? So there is definitely, I would say, an atmosphere of fear. And like a year ago, I had not heard of anybody within my close circles with COVID. And now I'm hearing left, right, and center, and even people passing away. So it is serious.
Okay, Ajay, thank you.
Hey, Sandri.
So who else? Who's next?
Maybe I can go next.
Yes, Avi.
This is Avi, and maybe after me, I will select others who hasn't. That would be good.
Okay, that's a good idea, Avi.
Um, so hello everyone. Nice to see you. I've met most of us here on offline, but I'm very happy to see Ajay, Pak Richard, Burik and Parik and Bumaya here as well, and Rod and Letitia and the babies. So happy to see the face. I know it's virtual, but it's becoming a new normal that it seems like we are really on the same room. So it's good to have, that feeling of connecting. Um, well, me and Awal and Ray are still doing as usual. We are still working at IDEP. I also work in the US based organizations Give to Asia. We do a lot of disaster response and now focusing a lot on the India COVID-19 response, Ajay. And that's why, I feel, I mean, the past 1.5 years, although it doesn't really impact us kind of like financially, but mentally, as I'm hearing all this stress and disasters and everything, I think the stress is the same, so to speak. And unable to travel is also another constraint because sometimes you have a stress relief by going somewhere or meeting my parents, and I haven't met them for quite some times also. They're based in Jakarta. But other than that, we are striving, holding on. Yeah, that's from me. And maybe from Johan.
Okay, I forgot to go. Am I on? Yeah, you can hear me. Hi, everybody. I'm in Portland, Oregon. I'm here with my son, Fidelis. Many of you remember him as a little guy. He's now a little bit taller than me. And I haven't been in Timor for 2 years, and I haven't been in Bali for a year. And we've just been here in this COVID lockdown, and we're doing well. And basically, we're healthy. Fidelis just is close to finishing 9th grade, all online school. We're living in a share house with several lovely people. So we have great meals, healthy food. One of our housemates works on an organic farm, so we have a good hookup for food. I think it's as good as you can get for being in America this year, really, if you've got to be stuck in one house. So Fidelis, he didn't meet any teenagers at all other than online, but that doesn't count because they could never talk to each other. He's just met the people in our house, and there's a few women in their 20s there, so it's this Portland scene. There's a lot of share houses. It's the cheaper way to live, but this is a good one. So, and I'm up here in a space by myself with my musical stuff, and I'm playing music all the time. I've been playing out on the streets every day now. It's how I make money sometimes because the weather's warm enough. So I have a tutoring job with very minimal hours, but it's good here. I love this town, but I don't know anybody here. So we're moving to a place where I do know a lot of people, which is Madison, Wisconsin. So we're moving back there in the summer, coming up in a couple of months. I have a fantastic house lined up. in a good neighborhood, close to some excellent friends, really nice free public school for Fidelis to attend, which he likes to do. That's his path. He's rocking school. He got straight A's so far. I mean, in many ways, it'd be easier for me if he preferred to drop out and didn't want to care about school. We'd probably go to Cuba on our way back to Bali. But, you know, I'm being a dad for the next couple of years for sure, get him through school, and thinking about that plot over there in Taman Patanu. Thinking about talking to Sandy about, you know, asking if it would bother him too much if I set up an ice cream store there. But that's just one of my new ideas. So I think I've covered all of Sandy's questions, and I'll pass it on to, let's see, how about Santi? Is Dewi there now? You can go, Dewi, if Santi's
Yes.
not there.
Sorry,
Oh, yeah, both there.
I've got a little bit of flu, so I don't want to give Santi a little bit of flu, so I'm wearing a mask. So this is probably our first gathering meeting as well. Yeah, it's really nice to see everyone as well. I just want to say how excited I am about getting the eco farm up and running. And I just want to say thank you to Ibu Soma for being like a big part of it. And also Santi and Krishna, who, you know, and Mel, of course, who started, you know, the whole thing. So that's like a biggest highlight for me, for being, yeah, part of Taman Patanu, you know, member. Really happy that the farm is up and running. And maybe most of you all know that Petra has moved to Preranan. It's been, I think, 6 months now. Yeah, it's Santi and I who currently living in Taman Patanu at the moment. And probably most of you all know as well that we're currently want to sell our plot. So yeah, we're looking for something a lot smaller and a lot simpler, to be still in Bali, mostly in Tabanan area. So yeah, we're really excited about that. So yeah, it's a big transition for our family at the moment. So it's been in and out, and yeah, we do apologize that we don't really, you know, get involved too much about the whole Taman Patanu, what would you call it? Like Taman Patanu, everything, management and all that. So yeah, and we do want to, you know, get involved more. So yeah, I guess that's all for me. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So now it's your turn to nominate someone to speak next.
How about Ibu Soma?
Hello. So, thank you, Dewi. It's been a pleasure. Also, as you said, my biggest, I think, joy and what I've been involved in the most during this year was the farm. And it was a great effort when we had the major lockdown, that we all jumped in and all did our part, like all of us, to get it started. And that was amazing. And now our biggest challenge is actually marketing what we're selling. So thanks to Dewi, she's been amazing to jump in, and it's great to see the children of the original owners jumping in and being a part of it, because I really enjoy the youth and their way of looking at life, because it's fresher and it's new and it's adds such great variety to the table, and I really appreciate that. And I love Andrew is jumping in a little bit also, Richard and Maya's son, with the farm and taking care of the swimming pool. The swimming pool, by the way, is looking unbelievably amazing. He's taking out the fish that are overly breeding and putting in fish that don't breed so heavy. And the quality and the clarity of the water has been amazing. As far as me and this whole year, it's been interesting on many levels. Yeah, owning a business that a lot of it is based in Bali and all over the world. Actually, my business has taken a real hit, obviously. And so it's been very interesting and thought-provoking to find ways to keep our staff employed, help them, and find different avenues to be a part of the community, the bigger part of the community in Bali, getting involved in some activities that bring food and income to some of the poor people that are really struggling, keeping our own staff working, trying to be creative and yet not run ourselves into the ground. So luckily the business was in a strong place at the beginning. Now it's really every month to month hoping to pay the bills. And we still have every one of our staff, and we have 21 families that we're supporting in the business. So it's a lot on your shoulders, but it's been amazing to me to see the resilience of the Balinese or the Indonesian people that are living here. I learned so much from the Balinese. They just have such a way of accepting what is and getting on with it. You know, like they're making smoked pork and smoked chicken and selling it out of their house, and people making cakes and all the amazing artisanal bread that we are getting everywhere, from sourdough bread that this person's making. That, and I like these small enterprises that are popping up as the big ones are crumbling. And as Rick said in the beginning, you know, it's like the way in which the world was going is not sustainable and couldn't manage. And even though there's a lot of suffering, there's a lot of uncertainty, fear, things that are have developed over the last year. So I think it's necessary because on some level, it's bringing everyone back to really see who they really are and what they really value in life and what's important to them. That we all seemed we were running around like chickens with our heads cut off before. And now it's given us time to sit and think about what's really important to us. And I know for me, a big part of me is my family and staying in touch with them, and also this country. I have fallen more and more in love with this country, even after 37 years, and the people here. And it's been interesting to ride the storm. Here in Taman Patano, we've had a few things that have not been so easy. And yet I see that we're a very solid group of people, that we have our priorities in the right place, and we are making progress step by step. And I like seeing this because a lot of neighborhoods or communities going through what we've gone through here, and also the financial part, and half the members here, half not here, half built, half not built. There's so many factors, would have fallen apart or had some very ugly feelings going on. And I've seen it all over the world. And so far, we have a very committed group of people that seem to be supporting each other. And that's really beautiful. So all in all, yeah, we're all growing. We're all here and trying to keep Taman Patano as healthy and vibrant and thriving as much as possible. So I thank all of you for being a part of this amazing experiment.
Thank you, Soma.
Okay,
Please nominate the next person.
Mel.
Hey everyone, so awesome to connect with you all. So I guess on a personal level, I'll start there, where I felt like because I'm such a nerd and have already been working online for many years, COVID didn't like impact me as much because I'm like, oh, Zoom, I've been Zooming for 5 years. So, you know, I feel really lucky in from that capacity that, you know, a lot of my work is online and I wasn't affected as much. It has been really interesting to be here in Bali during COVID and just see the whole transformation of the island and the impact that's happened with so many businesses that friends and really close ones to me have owned, and you know, all the challenges people have gone through, and the Balinese as well, and how they've shifted, like someone was talking about. And yeah, just seeing that has been like pretty wild experience. And also, you know, the expats that are on the island, like how they've, you know, the certain ones that just like fled the island and like see you later, or you know, there's been shifts where a lot of people have moved from Ubud to Uluwatu and Canggu, and just like so much turbulence and movement. And so it's been really really good to be part of Taman Patanu and part of a solid crew of people who, you know, have put some roots into the soil and are tending to the garden. And just it felt so solid. I felt really lucky to be part of this community and this group of people. That said, of course, Taman Patanu has had its challenges through this time as well. But I think, you know, as someone said, we have the ability to navigate these things. Like we have the tools, and they were created at the founding of this neighborhood, that we just have to keep going back to and refining those foundations, those commitments that we've made to ourselves, to each other, to the community here, to the environment. Just reminding, you know, why are we here? What are we doing? And seeing, you know, the world kind of go into chaos around us, and feeling that, you know, the vision that we had for Taman Patanu, even if it's half built or not everyone's here, it's still like, it still has very solid legs. And so I'm really excited to continue to nurture this neighborhood and to bring in more people that can also be a part. And, you know, I guess one of my biggest things is I have a lot of people who are like, I want to live at Taman Patanu. Do you have any housing available? And like, and we don't have any houses for rent. And so it's like, it's a weird feeling of like looking around at like the different plots of land that would be so great to have more people living here and being active and part of it. But so I'm really curious, like how we can flip that switch in some ways. You know, yeah, I'm curious about that, because I think that will help to strengthen us. Yeah, one of the highlights I would say was definitely like the time of crisis, the farm that popped up through that. You know, it was so wonderful to have different people involved to help get that going. With Santi, I was there kind of with Santi and Krishna, where the fire got lit around then, and Soma and Sandy and Longana, and we were all kind of chipping in. I had to back out after a while because I just have so much on my plate from I created a new company this year, and I just needed to focus and really, you know, not take on too much and spread myself thin. So I'm sad that I couldn't continue to be involved in the eco farm on a regular basis, but I'm super appreciating these garden days, these garden gatherings that Dewi has helped and Soma has helped to put together, because it's so important for me to step away from the computer time, which I have so much of, and get into the garden, feel my hands in the soil. I feel like I'm cheating because I get to like show up and just like harvest. This is kind of my favorite part, harvest some okra or lettuce, and it just feels so rewarding. But I just have to keep reminding myself of all the hard work that goes into that, you know, into getting to the point of harvest, and starting it all over again. So yeah, I think there's also a lot of beautiful symbolism there with our with our community, you know, like we have to continuously water, fertilize the soil with beautiful compost, plant seeds, nurture them, reap the harvest, enjoy it, and do it all over again. And I think it just takes that level of awareness, commitment, and connection between all of us to achieve that. So that's it. So I will now nominate, who else is here? Longena.
All right, thanks, Mel. Wow, so happy to hear all of the updates and stories from you guys, and really be happy part of this community. I don't think there's many better place to live in this time, these strange times, you know, and I'm also very glad and grateful and privileged to live in Taman Patano during this. So yeah, I'm doing well. Like Mel said, I've been also working online, so didn't impact so much the way I work. I stopped traveling though in the past year. I used to travel like crazy, which may be good for my carbon footprint. And I hate traveling anyway. I don't miss airports. I miss my colleagues, my my teams, but yeah, I don't really miss that part of traveling all the time. So, and also enjoyed more time here with eco farm, with neighbors, also with myself and my daughter. Even though she lives in Germany, we are more connected now. Also, maybe thanks to the situation, she stay more home, school, online. Though she's has a challenge with this drastic disruption. This may be the way that Rick said. Also disrupted her life quite significantly. She loved traveling. She planned for a year of traveling after school, and now, of course, she canceled that. It affected her so much, and maybe this is something that we don't hear a lot from her generation. Yeah, I think they call it silent pandemic. That also affected their much younger generation. That the time that they actually supposed to do a lot, but now with this restriction they have to stay. So yeah. Yeah. What else? Yeah. Looking forward to have a conversation how to continue our neighborhood, and like Mel said, also to nurture that and to grow as well, because seems we with these restrictions we even have more challenges to to pursue our vision in this neighborhood. Looking forward to that. All right, I pass on to Pak Richard. By the way, Nana and Danendra haven't done it yet, but now please, Pak Richard and Bu Maya, over to you.
This is just to check the connection. Anyone hear us?
Yes, good, Bu Maya.
Yes, we can all hear you.
Okay, that's good, because we don't use the video just to save so that the connection can be okay. So thank you so much. This is just me talking for now. I don't know, maybe Richard later. Okay, so thank you so much for the updates. It's really good to hear, what is it? A positive note even though in this situation that we are in at the moment. Well, actually just economically or financially is the one that the part that got hit so much. Just like yeah, ours also, our business is floating along in a very minimal way, but we are yeah, we're lucky in that sense, but also it's like a struggle. So that's just on the business level, but on the other level, it's actually what is it? Help us to be closer to the family, which is really important. And then also just, yeah, just having fun in a smaller way, I can say something like that. So it's there is struggle, but we're still here, and we are still have meeting, a bit more regular in Bali Asli, and then we are also making, just make our product better also. So there's some things that we could not do when we are a bit too busy like last time, but now we have time to focus on little things. I guess that's part of the struggle also. So yeah, thanks to hear Ajay, very inspiring, and everybody else. And of course, I agree with Soma. I've never been, I don't really spend much time in Taman Petano also. And since the pandemic, I was mostly staying in Pupuan, up the mountain. And then, but to hear and to see the young generation is also getting involved in this whole thing, it's really nice. So I think that's all I can say. Hi to everybody. And yeah, thank you for whoever makes this possible. Thank you.
And Maya, can you nominate the next person, please?
Oh, okay. Let me see the participant button, yeah?
Danendra and
so
Nana, yeah.
Okay, so maybe Danendra, please. Thank you.
Danendra.
Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you very much for time now, and also I just want to say that I'm happy to work in Taman Petano, work with friends here and with the member. Taman Petano has eco farm also. Even sometimes make miscommunication about the job, and all the friends here also. But basically, I'm so happy to work in here. Thank you.
And your family, personal life?
My personal life is normal. Besides I work in here, I work also in Singaraja, in the university, in the Hindu Religion University. But I teach in tourism. And I live in Singaraja, half week in Singaraja, and weekend in Denpasar, because my family, my wife and my children still in Denpasar. And then in weekend, I only meet a family on weekend. After I come from Taman Petano, on Saturday, I went to Denpasar to meet my family. Yeah, during the pandemic, yeah, it seems like others, maybe I just following the protocol of health protocol, using masker, and then was the yes, yeah, that's all of my personal life. Thank you.
So can you please nominate next speaker?
Maybe Bu Nana. I think the last one is Bu Nana, yeah.
Hi,
Bu Nana Sohan,
everyone. And Mas Awal just
Please,
arrived,
Nana.
I think. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
We can hear you.
Great. Hi, everybody. Sorry for crashing your members gathering. Maybe wondering why on earth this little girl come into the screen. I've been working again with Petra for the past year after the pandemic. And apologies from her as she can't join this member gathering. She's feeling unwell and she's right now under ongoing treatment. And the schedule is clashing. So I'm kind of sitting here on her behalf, and I can communicate anything Petra later on. And also because I've been working together with Mel to look at the legality for Taman Petano, the legal structure. And thank you so much again, Ibu Soma. It's been very helpful. And yeah, looking forward to hear about what we're gonna do in Taman Petano, if anything I can support also from my side. And amazing updates, everyone. And like everybody says, it's such a difficult and weird time, hoping that this is not gonna go any longer than it has to. Hoping it's gonna stop very soon. What exciting about my life lately is we've been having a lot of a different job for this COVID. So it's quite, we're trying to be agile, if that's the right word or the right pronunciation, to navigate our team. We survived so far, but yeah, we also lost a couple of team members. We have to let them go. So it's quite difficult time. But yeah, we're trying our best, and hopefully we're gonna get back to our normal fit soon. I'm gonna nominate Mas Awal. I think he just joined us. Please.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Nice to meet
Alan.
you. Okay. Sorry, I don't know about what we're talking about before.
Well,
This only what?
basically just a quick checkup now where you're at, what's happening, what's
Okay.
exciting or could be exciting in your life, and you know what you're looking forward to.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, yeah, I'm here in plot 4 and still working with IDEP. Yeah, that's the new on in plot 4. Maybe Afi tell me before. Maybe it's like we have the new studio. Johan, you can come in if you come in TPN. We can join music together. Okay, maybe for me just like that. If you wanna ask, please. Thank you.
We would like to nominate Sandy.
Yes,
he
I
hasn't
think.
spoken yet about himself.
Okay.
Sandy.
Ayo, Sandy.
Okay. Well, you know, there is this famous saying here in Bali, if you want to make the gods laugh, tell them about your plans. And I think I probably have been I've been a contribution to much laughter for the gods. And so when I came back to Bali, I had all sorts of idea what I was going to do. And then when this pandemic started to work itself out, well, many of the things that I had thought I was going to do, mainly in community terms, events in Taman Petano and connections, networking, all of that, well, that in itself did not quite work itself out due to the various restrictions. So I found myself in the way of going back to the drawing board and continued doing what I did in my own private lockdown that I had in India before I came to Indonesia, when I broke my foot and was for 5 weeks in my own seclusion. So I've been basically continuing writing my book, which is about practical guidance to the subconscious mind using the tarot cards, learning how to use a high-tech healing device called the Healy, which has been in parts amazing, I've been getting involved in cryptocurrencies, which has been quite a challenge because it's a language where I scratch my head and I go, my God. And I realized that most of what I'm doing with crypto, I just follow my intuition. And so far, it seems to have been working out okay. But if you ask me if I understand anything about it, it's a different world. Yes, and then came the point when I suddenly realized, okay, as the whole restrictions and what is happening on the planet globally, it was getting more and more intense. I also realized that what has been promoted in the mass media certainly is not now what is really happening. I mean, I've got many different channels of information from people worldwide, and I got I think I've got a fairly good idea what the whole reset is all about and where we are heading. And that is certainly not something that I'm particularly looking forward to. Hi, Manuel.
Hey, sorry,
Hi.
technical problem.
And so consequently, I started to realize that now the time has come to really start gathering together the people who do interesting stuff and to build community with like minds, and basically to continue with what I used to do, and that was the networking community building events. And so I got involved with Seeds. And the first event that we had was oversubscribed. There were so many people who wanted to come, we had to send them away. It was really exciting. And so I figured, okay, it's time to follow up. But then the gods started to laugh again, because when I started to get the ball rolling, I came down with shingles. And I don't know if any of you ever had shingles, but let me tell you, it's the pits. It's a very nasty virus attack. And I can only say, if you ever get it, nuke it as fast as you can, because you really do not want to wait until this thing breaks out. And I think I waited just a little bit too long because I didn't know what it was. So anyway, so for the last months, more or less, I have been on standstill and going through another lockdown for myself, because I haven't got much energy and I need to figure out, how to heal myself. And that in itself is quite an interesting journey. So yes, what I wanted to do with the networking and the Seeds involvement is now turning into a healing journey and getting my physical health back in order. And I have to say, the other thing that has been actually quite stressful for me is my family in Europe, who's always been on the verge of delicate health challenge. Now the whole family is on the edge with, serious health complaints. And usually I went every year back to Europe to support my family morally and, with whatever means I could. But this time, this is not quite possible. And I noticed the fact that I can't give them the support that I wanted to has been stressing me out probably more than I realized. And yeah, it's an ongoing story. So we'll see how that goes. Having said all of that, every morning I wake up in Taman I feel incredibly grateful for being here. And I very much enjoy the vibes, the people around me. And yeah, as Soma said, you know, I mean, I've been in Bali now for quite some time, but I really, really love Bali. It's yeah, I mean, yes, there's a lot of hardship, and yes, there are a lot of shops closed and people go through hardship, but wow, it feels like Bali is coming back to its soul, or how it used to be, or how I remember it from many, many years ago when I was here 45 years ago for the first time. So yes, I consider to be Tama Pitanu a blessing, and I can't wait until we start to build some more momentum and get some few more things happening here when this whole restriction story starts to loosen up a little bit. And that's it for me. Manuel, you are, I think, the last one in the row of catching up. Would you like to share?
Can you hear me?
I can hear.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry I had a technical problem. I couldn't check in, but I hope I got the time right. You started about 5 minutes ago on
An hour.
Oh no, I got the times wrong. Then I looked Jakarta time. I'm sorry, that's really stupid because I was here. So I'm very sorry. I didn't follow much of what was said.
Everybody looks older.
Sorry? Really?
I mean, he looks much younger than this, like a year or two ago.
Are you guys having some conversations? You thinking you're on mute?
Hey, yeah, actually, we did. So sorry.
Maybe she was talking about Manuel.
Hey, Manuel. I think we're good because the recording is going to be available, so you can catch up with the check-ins.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Thanks,
great.
Rod. Yeah.
Good point, Rod.
Thank you. So I don't look younger. I mean, if that was about me, thank you, but no, I don't. Anyway.
You do look younger, Manuel.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
You do look younger.
Oh my God, I just come out of bed. Oh my God, look at all your backdrops. I mean, this is just incredible. This is just incredible. Anyways, I'm very glad to be here and that I was off and could join. And I'm so sorry I missed those initial calls. So I don't know what people were sharing. I just heard you now, Sandy, and I'm sorry to hear what has been going on with your health and your family. So
yeah, so what we do here is basically sharing what we are up to, what's happening, what's great in our life, what we feel excited about, and what we would like from this gathering, maybe as an outcome, or what would you like to see being covered.
Okay, good. So I'll try and keep it short. So on a personal base, I am still here in Switzerland working full time, despite all that's going on. I had this, as you all know, I bought this land as well a while ago, and I've been waiting for building permit, which I finally got after 3.5 years. I got it financed. We should be digging this month, start digging. So anyway, that's just what's happening here. Now with what has been going on in the world, I'm obviously very saddened, even if I hope there will be some good outcome in this. I hear what you say, Sandy, about Bali coming back to its roots, in the sense it must be a lot more quiet, a lot more green, a lot less hectic. It must be absolutely stunning. And that is certainly a good thing, even if economically it must be difficult, because I guess this whole island was built on tourism. I really feel very strongly drawn to Taman still and always, and I'm saddened that for me personally at the moment I can't move because we can't really travel at the moment. I'm certainly not going to get a test. I'm certainly not going to get a vaccine. From what I hear, I'm going to stay away from that. So in the meanwhile, I want to thank you all for keeping the steering in hand in Taman Petano and keep going with it. And I wish you all the best. And I'm sure you're in a very good position there. I don't know how it's not the worst here in Switzerland, but what I see, what's going on in Canada, in Great Britain, in New Zealand, where I just heard yesterday that pilots, flying members, the crew, air traffic controllers have to take a vaccine today. If you don't, $5,000 fine or prison. So, so the Anglophone countries, to me, seems they are completely under a spell. So all this is worrying and it's not nice. But on the other hand, we know that Film is doing a great job. And sorry, I had a bit of a cough. I think there's good things happening, and I hope Filmich will manage to have these lawsuits pass and whatever. So what do I expect from this meeting? Not much. I just want to see you guys, hear what's going on in Taman, and keep the dream up. And yeah, and I hope all it's gonna evolve to in a positive way. It's even if it's hard to keep positive with all this negative news, or what we consider negative news, because I can't understand how so many people seem to just go along with this vaccine stuff, something that's not been tested, and they claim they follow science. I mean, there's no science in this. So anyways, that's a different kettle of fish. So I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. I have not really prepared. I wasn't ready to talk, but voilà.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you still air traffic control in this job, right? So do you have to, they want you to take the vaccination?
No, that's in New Zealand.
Oh, in New Zealand, okay.
In Switzerland, I don't think at the moment that can be done. And I have only got 1 year and 9 months to work. And then I'm done with air traffic control. So my hope is, and that's, I mean, I obviously hope that that's never going to be compulsory. And if it is, I'm leaving the job. I think I should get away, but that's just me personally, which is not important. I mean, I can just not do it and stop working, but I don't think it's right that it should be compulsory. So I hope it won't be. I mean, it's just ludicrous. I don't know if you read about what Attali said in 81. I mean, anyways, that's a different topic, I guess. I don't want to take the attention away from Taman Petano, which is call is about Taman Petano, not about COVID. So yeah, I think I'm done here, unless you have any questions.
No, I think that's it. Thank you for sharing, Manuel. And good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon. So sorry, I mean.
All right, guys. So we have now done our sharing. Let's go to the general.
Wait a minute,
agenda.
Sandy. Wait,
Yes.
hold on a minute, Sandy. We didn't really hear from two people that are still in the room, which is Santi and Richard, if they want to speak up. They were together in pairs, but they are individuals. If they wanted to say hi alone, I think we should give them a minute.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for reminding. Santi, you want to have a go?
I think for me, Dewi's already talked most of the stuff in terms of like our family. So I'm good with that. And plus checking at the time as well. It's almost 3:30 already.
We're way late. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, unless Pat Richard wants to.
Richard. Earth calling Richard.
Okay. We can move on. He just typed in nothing.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next thing then.
Yes.
Well, we have a fabulous program in store for you all today. We have visuals, we have photos, we have narration, we have expert explanation, and Q&A. We're gonna have a little Q&A, if you know what that is. So Longena, hit me with the agenda, please, so we can see what's happening. Right. So
Can you see it? Right.
Yeah. Okay. We have a few different things to cover in our news. A lot of interesting things. Oh, I was expecting to see the breakdown there, but I think those who have a little bit of news to share know who they are. So I would invite you to get right to it.
I will share some pictures from Tamatanu and Eco Farm while people talking, like yeah, we can make turn, maybe start with Soma, and then yeah, everyone else are invited to share. Over to you, Johan.
Okay.
Okay, well, one of the things I may want to share is over the rainy season, you know, much wear and tear has been happening. And we have been working on maintaining, cleaning, repairing, beautifying Taman Petanu every day a little bit more. The cafe has just received a makeover with a great paint job that used it. Soma last year had the great idea to change the hedge that surrounded the pool, take it out and just make it more open and visible. And I have to say, that was a fabulous idea because it looks, Taman Petanu looks so much more open, inviting, and just simply beautiful. And the other thing that is really nice to know is we have planted, as you may or may not know, quite a lot of fruit trees. And I think in a couple of years, we will have plenty, abundance of fruits, of anything from avocado to siasag to jackfruit, you name it. It is just like, it's a joy to see how much food we are actually growing. Of course, that may bring the issue of the monkeys into picture because monkeys want to eat too. And well, I guess, you know, we deal with it when we get there. But for now, it feels really good to have a neighborhood that feels very abundant in many, many ways. And that we work on improving it every day a little bit. One of the things that you may or may not know, for those of you who haven't been here for a while, is the land opposite Rod's place has been landscaped. And initially, from what I recall, the idea was that they would build a new village. But when I look at it now, I think the way the landscape is does not mean a new village, maybe a couple of new houses. And they actually have done quite a good job planting it, and a couple of farms have come up. And so it actually looks not too bad at all. And
except for all the floodlights at night that shine directly into some of our houses.
that is very true. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, it would be really good to address that at some point with them.
Johan, are you all right?
That's bad news. That's one of my worst things in life is light pollution.
Me too. Light and noise.
Yeah, true. But you have, yeah. Well, that's it. As far as the news I can remember. Anyone else wants to share some news?
Well, on that note about what they're building across the way, I've gone over there a couple of times. On the part that's facing us, it's kind of hard to realize what they're going to do. On the other side of the river going down to the north, they've landscaped it completely with big caterpillars, and there's a road that goes all the way down to the river there. And it's terraced. Huge job. Maybe a month with 2 caterpillars or more. 2, I don't know what the digger things are called. They're not really caterpillars. I don't know. The floodlights are annoying because there's a paved road going into there, and there's 6 lights that go all the way up to the top. And they're bright, huge floodlights that go straight into my house. And because I'm parallel to it. It's not it could be worse. And it's, yeah, maybe we can turn them around. I'm gonna go back over there. Since they installed the lights, I haven't been there. See if we can maybe face them the opposite direction or take a look at it a little bit to buffer it from us.
Or maybe get a lampshade.
I mean, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, maybe I'm naive. I don't know how things work in Bali. I mean, you could just ask, would you mind just putting a lampshade over the top that the light is directed towards the ground? I mean, just that they are aware that they're actually impacting other people. And if they don't think about it, they just do what they want, and they don't think further. But if some people say something, I don't see why they shouldn't make a compromise.
Yeah, finding out who owns it is one thing, and then talking to them. But I was going to go and talk to him about it, because often what I've noticed in many pieces of land I've lived in, people do things on their piece of land with only their own perspective, without coming to the neighbors to see what it looks like from their side. And it's been a classic kind of thing that I've seen happen over and over. So they're probably not even, it hasn't even crossed their mind that it might bother us over here. So
most likely not.
Yeah, it's something that we will look at. And the other thing in the news of the farm, a little bit, just to update you, we do have almost 30 ara of farmland that is being in a constant harvesting, replanting, rehabilitizing the land. It's a huge process that I didn't really realize when I got into it. You know, our first push was fantastic, and we all jumped in, and we put charcoal in the soil, and we put compost, and you know, like the leftovers from the rice fields. And now we're at a point where we have to do it all over again, and it's a constant thing that I didn't quite realize that. And so it's amazing to watch it as we harvest things, take all those out, replant, redo. We have an amazing man working for us for very cheap, actually, for what he does. He's a master gardener. He's worked at Cool Farm and Bamboo Inda, developing their farms. And we've made a little nursery, so we make our own seedlings here, and then we plant them on the land, and then we see some work, some don't. We're trying different things. We're now at a point where we're looking into marketing it somehow, because we have, as you could maybe show those videos again of the farm, Longena, because those were what made me think about news about what's going on. We've made little packages of the Rosella, and
best.
And those are fantastic. Those are selling. We've also had a lot of Jerusalem artichokes that we've been selling, and now we're making some jamus, experimenting. We have a dehydrator that day we found, and that's been amazing to dehydrate the herbs, dehydrate the rosella. It lasts for a long time. This is the rosella, was the previous picture. Yeah, it's quite a process, and learning and trying to market it without competing with the locals is something that I'm trying to stay away from, to target bules, so that we don't flood the market of things that the locals are growing, that let the locals do that. Because I've gone back to farming and doing things like this a lot. So I'm into, yeah, supporting that and trying to hit the more Western market with the things that we're growing. There's our packages of rosella. We should send you all one if we weren't in this situation. It's amazing tea and a great source of vitamin C. We're experimenting with lots of little things for the farm, just, making dried okra and just different things, trying to see how we can make it work for us and be sustainable also financially. So, and the grounds are looking more and more beautiful as more and more of us live here. The living classroom is just waiting for people to do workshops and things there. Thanks to Megan, helped to completely restore that. And so, yeah, things are looking up, and I think it's also, the farm is a great asset to any one of you that wants to sell the land and also later living here in these unprecedented times. I think growing food is always a great option, and knowing how to do it so that if we really needed it, we can. And it's also a great selling point for those who are trying to sell their plots, that we do have quite a large farm over there that is abundant. That's all for me. I like the mute clapping. It's kind of like that.
Okay, let's move on. Johan, you want to move on?
Yeah, I'm wondering who else has news, because I don't personally have news specific about Taman Patanu because I haven't been there. I only know them secondhand.
Karen is asking about the mining. I personally never heard of it. Maybe because I'm in, the upper.
I've been hearing it because I'm
we can speak on the north side. There is one mine that's still active. It's actually just below the project that's happening on the other side of Taman Patanu, and at our plot we can hear it, like it, like the other mines that were close to Taman Patanu. But I think because it's Ramadan and most of the workers are like the stone cutters are from Java, so they're off doing their Lebaran right now. So it's quiet. You can't really hear it right now. But yeah, there's one mine north of Taman Patanu that's still pretty active.
Yeah, also near my plot, I hear sometimes, not as intense as before, but sometimes I hear that. But if you look at the piles of batu paras, the sandstone on the road, still a lot, So maybe they still mine, but maybe a bit further than of Taman Patanu. But yeah, they're still active though. But of course, compared to a few months ago, even a year ago, this is less intense, much less intense. Yeah.
In front of all of our land, in front of Taman Patanu, there are no mines going on anymore, and there were 3 before, and so it was super intense and noisy. Now, yeah, there's one on the south of us and there's one on the north of us. There is noise, but nothing compared to what it used to be. And in front of, all along, opposite of all of the riverfront of Taman Patano, there's no mines going on, which is a good start. And I think the one on the north, because of this project that I think they're finishing, it is what I've heard in the village, that they're just working really hard to get it all out before they have to stop. Fingers crossed.
Okay, so that seems to be it.
All right. Is that it for the news then? Yeah, we had all of our reports. We should have a little break anyway. I think it is time for a bathroom break. I don't know if is 15 minutes the right amount of a break, or do people want a shorter break?
We are a little bit behind the schedule, maybe 10 minutes. So we come back quarter before the hour.
Okay.
5 minutes?
People think. 10?
5 minutes is good.
5 minutes, okay. I just need to get the water and.
Yeah, call it a 5-minute break then, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
7
minutes. Yeah, I agree.
7.5.
Start now.
Wanna play one music for us, Johan?
Did you say something, Longena?
Yeah, I was saying, would you like to play one?
Sure.
One
Did you ever
song?
get a guitar, Longena?
Yes, I bought one, but yeah, never practice it.
Can you hear this?
Yes. Cheers, everyone.
Vebu, vebu, jebu, jebu, pu, wa, pa, 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 pu, tu, ya, do, wa, ba, do, do, da, do, wa. I keep studying all the Brazilian music still. Now I know a lot more songs than before. Vou te contar, os olhos já não podem ver. São coisas que o coração pode entender. Fundamental que o mesmo amor é impossível ser feliz sozinho. Na primeira vez será cidade, na segunda cais na realidade. Did Jonathan ever come? Jonathan hasn't made it in today, has he?
Nope.
I love the music, Johan.
Oh, thanks, Mel.
Beautiful, Johan, as always.
I'll send Jonathan a text.
Yeah, just
Well-
sing. Forget the meeting. We just listen to you. No, I'm
All
joking.
right. Maybe some other time I'll do a little concert for Tama Patanu. I'll set up, like it says here, set up professional audio in audio settings. Maybe I'll check them out. Yeah, I've been playing a lot here. I had the funniest experience playing on the street in Portland. God, what a wild scene it is. I've been playing all these different locations on different streets here, getting to know street people, playing music for people. I really enjoy it. You know, I consider it like I'm practicing the music anyway, sharing good vibes with people. Sometimes people throw money my way, you know, and you never know who's going to do it. Like the UPS delivery guy gave me $20 today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had a hilarious one the other day. Are we still waiting for some people? Are we going to start?
I think most of us are here.
Are we back?
We don't know because everyone has their video off and muted, so we don't know.
I'm looking across the list here. Well, it's time to get, I guess it is time
Let's
to
just
start
get
back.
started.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's that? Oh, I wonder if we could get a volunteer to take some notes for the next couple of sessions. Does anybody have an easy way to do that? Or is it necessary since we're recording?
I'm the worst note taker ever, so.
I mean,
I
I've got a pen and a paper right here, so if I can do it if something's like really needs to be written down in particular. But yeah, we've got the recording. All right. Longina, what's the could we have a look at what we're looking at then for the next?
Yes, now it's a financial report from Avi.
It's Avi's turn. Okay.
Okay, guys, get ready for some numbers. I'm gonna turn off the video because I don't think my connection is strong enough to share the screen and have my face on it. All right. So this is going to be quite quick. Just let me know when you can't hear me. And so, yeah, so to save us from the headache on the numbers, I'm gonna go straight in and just do some, big overview on it. So this is the 2020 report. We closed our 29 financial with a surplus of 180 million. That's around 16K USD, if I'm not mistaken, give or take. And then the COVID hit, so the income that we were expecting, which is around 600 million something, didn't come through. We got the income 559. And we did some adjustment, as I will go through later on the next slides. But this is the expenditures, and the ending balance end up of expanding the 2019 balance. So you see our end balance have decreased by 100 million. So just to give you a quick overview of the 2019 financial status, we received 822 and expended 642. So the expenditures are, more or less the same within 640 and 50s. But yeah, we had issue on the income. Just let me know if you have questions because I can't really see you in my screen. So this is the 2029 budget. With the balance brought forward by 88 million, we decided to crunch the numbers so that we can have a lower maintenance fee for the members. We noticed that COVID hasn't really gone from the space, so we have to be quite, clever. But then we received the expected income, 664. This is expected income because this is still, running budget. We hope if everybody pays on time, as usual, we would get this amount. So it will kind of like adds up to our balance. But the balance per today is 37 million. And just to give you an estimations, our monthly expenses is around 45 to 65. So we are actually under budget. That's the case. So this is the general overview. So struggling with most of us, all of us are struggling with the challenge thanks to the virus, and most of us have been impacted also heavily by the economic challenges, and that's why we are missing targets. We couldn't really, like have gatherings. It's not possible. So other incomes that we are expecting were not coming through in 2020. The coping mechanism that CC has been doing since 2020 is to have a budget cuts. So, but in June 2020, we revisited the budget, make some tight, calculations, and then we identified that we can actually um, give 1 month discount to all members. So as you know, those who paid in 2020 is actually paying 11 months instead of 12 months. And those who already paid full amount, their balance is taking to 2021. And then we also have a flexible payment terms. You can pay it at any amount at any time. A 10% discount for those paid 6 months in advance, 1 year in advance. And we pending the no late payment fees. So there are no late payment fees coming in as well in 2020. And in 2021, by the beginning of this year, our CC meeting decided to still continue our 2020, how do you call it, relief efforts to the members. But, but we also reduced maintenance fee by 10%. And I think the we call it cash flow issue has been seen since 2-3 months back, and within the CC, with the extended members Soma and Melissa, we kind of like come up with, okay, so whoever can pay few months in advance to help others who still couldn't pay, can pay first. We and added, we have these 10% discounts at least to help the cash flow going. So we see some members paid way in advance to help with cash flow, to help with others who are in financial difficulties. But of course, there's that much we can do so far. And then we still see some challenges. So currently our maintenance balance is sufficient for less than a month expenses, as I mentioned. And I feel that frequent reminders to members can also give some fatigue, because we are keep reminding you to pay the maintenance fee. So maybe that happens to some of us. That's also the challenges, and we try to be like adjusting to the situations, and like still continue to keep the positive vibes going on. But as a finance person, I have to share you the facts. So yeah. So we are actually on survival mode on financially. Um, so we'd like to encourage members to pay on time, because as of today, only 3 members have paid or without the outstanding balance, outstanding payments. So the rest of the members still have, invoice to deal with, including me. But I promise to pay soon. Okay. And then the last CC meeting we had, we would like to have a strong commitment from all members, as like at least so that we can continue running the cash flow, this already minimum expenditures that we have for at least to go, from 1 month to another, as everyone have said before, at least just to survive. So with that, we are starting a late payment fees for next invoice. So this means for the payment on July onwards. Um, and the invoice will come by end of June. What it means is that there will be a 3% late payment fees for the minimum amount that we need to pay on a monthly basis. So CC decided the minimum amount that we need to pay is at least 1 million a month. So if you don't need to pay the whole invoice, but at least to be committed to send 1 million a month from the invoice. And if that we didn't receive that, we would put 3% late payment fee of that 1 million, which is about, I don't know, my mind becomes like porridge at the moment. I cannot crunch the numbers. So it's actually pretty small, but this is the commitment that we all need to have to continue running on a minimum expenses. And with that also, the financial status will be revisited every month and expenditures will be made based on priorities. What is these priorities? The first one, of course, is the utilities and equipment like, running the electricities, biopool maintenance and all that. The second priorities is overhead, staff salaries, and the third priorities is the other additional projects that we have. So as I said, this is still, how do you call it? A scenario. So I hope you won't be getting into that process. Yeah. So, okay. So there are, like the facts frequently asked questions that I'm getting from the members, which I already explained, before for some issues. So yeah, TPEN monthly cash flow is about 45 to 60 million a month, and 70% will go to the salaries, and the rest will go to utilities, payments, and other projects. And then some members confused where to see the current budget and reports. For the 2020 budget and report, you can use this link, bit.ly links, and just write TPEN 2021 budget. I hope it's easier to remember. Just log into that. You can see we're giving a few access only because we don't want people to edit it randomly. But at least you can see where we at that point in time when you this budget is being updated on a daily basis. So it's quite updated. And some members also ask, where can we see the previous budgets and reports? So at the moment, the practice is the members would ask directly to me, and then I will give the links. But I think for the a good system, I will create a folder and create an easy bit.ly links that everyone can understand, maybe bit.ly TPEN budget only. And then you can have access to all financial budgets and reports from the previous years. This is also a few only access, but we are, how do you call it, maintaining our transparency and accountability to all members, and I think this will be a good system for all of us. Also, the last one is, what if I have difficulties in paying my fees? Your go-to person is the TPEN treasurer. At the moment, it's me, but it might change later, in 1 hour. I don't know if anyone wants to take my role. But yeah, so Cici has been meeting quite often in the past year. And so and we also have WhatsApp groups. So any questions that the members raise is, being shared and discussed in that group so that we can give you
One question, Avi.
right.
Maybe you can put
So
that link in the WhatsApp chat for the homeowners, because you can't click on it in the Zoom thing. At least I couldn't.
correct.
And now
Yes.
it's on. So maybe you can add that to the homeowners.
Oh, have you ever been wondering how?
Good. Yes, Johan? Johan? I think you said something, but
No, he's muted. Someone else.
oh, all right.
There's a ghost.
Oh, wasn't me. Okay, sorry. I thought it was you. Okay, so just an information to close my session. So actually, how many TPEN accounts that we have? Because I know, like as a members, you might ask, I pay for anchor funds. I pay for this and that in the past. So there's actually 4 accounts that we currently have at the moment. TPEN maintenance accounts, the 37 million. That account is to hold all of the incomes coming from members' payments and the additional incomes that we have from events, gathering, selling stuffs from our house, and we ask management to manage it. Management or TPEN will have, I think, 15% of the sales, and that money will come in the TPEN maintenance account. And then all expenditures like salary and blah, blah, blah will come from that. So the balance is 37 million at the moment. And the second one is TPEN development account. So this account was started during the development of the neighborhood. And in this account, we hold some notes on the members who still have money within TPEN, and also some other responsibilities like for Alam Santi when they still manage our maintenance account. So we put the things there, and also for the electricity, because we have ideas to fix the electricity on the southern areas of our neighborhood. So we actually need around 120 million to how do you call it, to um, clean that responsibility or something. Yeah. Yeah, and the plot 20 cells, when it's sold, it will go to this account. This is TPEN development account. And we can, complete our responsibilities and pay the members who are still owed money and etc. So at the moment, this is still 18 million in the account. It's not enough. Our planning is to have, because since 2016, we always have balance to the maintenance budget. So I was planning actually by, the beginning of 2020 that the balance will be transferred to development account. So at least we can start saving money and then pay our dues, right? But, the virus hit, and the rest of the stories. And the third one is the TPEN Deposit Anchor Fund. This is a deposit account. We cannot use this money without approval of all members actually, because we are putting some money in here. And then I think there are still some members who still haven't paid their anchor fund. It's 10 million plot. So I will check with that. I will check the status with AMI. And the last one is TPEN living classroom accounts. These funds is actually to host income generating activities and or maintenance of the living classroom. And some, I think Megan put a lot of effort to, to uh, re redevelop the buildings, and we were thinking to kind of like pay back to Megan once we have the funds, of course. Even though Megan doesn't really expect that, it's like her contributions to LC. But anyways, I put a specific account so that we all know that this is for LC, and we can do it, if we have any, we can use the fund if we have any cool ideas about LC. So that's all, folks.
Can I ask you a question, Avi?
Sure.
Can you give us a quick update on what's happening with lot 20?
Yes. So for everyone's informations, okay. For everyone's information, we have interest on plot 20 in the beginning of 2020. That's kind of like a rhyme, plot 20 in 2020. But then the COVID hit. This is the word that's been too much used today. And the family had difficulties in doing the payments. So I'm in charge to build the communications with them. As representative of CC, and I think they came to the neighborhood by last December 2020, and bringing their family. It's quite positive, and they said that they're still really committed to buy the plots. It's just financially, it's not possible at the moment. So I'm contacting them again around a month ago to also come up with win-win solutions that they have to at least pay something as a part of their commitment. But they apparently have had personal issue last month. Sandy, Bang Faisal's mother's was severely ill. So he said he would get back to me soon, but I checked back with him again and still had no response. So yeah, everything is still kind of like on a stagnant mode at the moment. I think that's all I can say. I also shared him about the plan of having these gatherings and all that, but yeah, he seemed quite difficult to contact.
Oh, well. So with other words, if a buyer comes, that means theoretically plot 20 is more or less for sale unless we get a fairly pronto response from Faisal. Is that correct?
No, it's the opposite.
I mean, I shared with him as well, but quite a while ago, that if they feel like they couldn't continue, we should reopen plot 20 to the markets again, and let's see which one is fast. Yeah, So that message has been sent. And
Okay.
back then they said they still, very, very interested and all that. So I think they understand that we are opening up options to other people as well.
Okay.
I think in the future, maybe it's something for the CC to look at, or maybe with everyone here. In a case like this, I think there should be guidelines set in place. Like if it's over a year and no more payments have been made, then we have to either, I don't know, there has to be some sort of, otherwise they put a small deposit on it. We're not getting maintenance fees from it. Until they've actually purchased it. So it's actually putting the community in a not a very good position. And I think there needs to be some boundaries and guidelines set in place for that. How much time you give them. They have to be communicative when asked a question. If they don't answer, because what I've understood is that they answer sometimes and recently not at all. So we've had the situation go with Plot 20 before. And thankfully we ended up taking it back because they hadn't paid the money. But I think that it's kind of an important issue. I mean, it's the only piece left, but it keeps happening with that particular piece. Yeah, that you only give them a certain amount of time to make the next payment. And if they don't, there's late fees and things. I think it has to be, because it does hinder us and the maintenance fees and et cetera, running the community, other people wanting to buy in. And I don't know, that's just my own personal opinion on that. Otherwise it could go on for 10 years if they keep saying, I like it, I like the idea, I still want to be part of the community, but I'm still putting another million rupees in or something.
Well, with all due respect, I mean, this whole COVID story interfered, so
of course.
Yeah.
But I agree with everyone's point here, and I also think that we already give them sufficient time, and I can at least ask them for a discussions with the CC just one last time to also check their seriousness on this issue. They can offer their availability so that they have the commitment on that as well. And if somehow they didn't respond, then we can give them a letter that say whatever our decisions is, like a deadline or something.
Abby, can I just check if they don't, if they don't proceed, will they then lose their deposit? Is that sort of forfeited?
Yes.
Okay. I sort of think that because it's not like COVID is over yet, but things will hopefully ease in the next couple of months. It might be, depending on how long it all goes on for, but it might be good to at least wait until it's easing somewhat, or their situation is known to have eased, and then go, okay, you need to make a final decision, because I'm sure losing the deposit would be a really big hit on them as well. And we do want people who really want to be there and who feel all of that, and for it not to be like they suffer more because during this time they weren't able to proceed and they lose their deposit.
Yeah. I mean, I have given, the messages into a level of, possessiveness, probably. Like, when you're dating someone, you keep asking on a weekly basis, but then they don't respond at all. So I was like, okay, I think there's also need to be some efforts on their end, because
Yes.
we are really, I mean, in my messages, I'm really, wants them to have some ideas, or, to put
Mm.
some thoughts into this,
Mm.
openly sharing our challenges with
Mm.
the plot and with our
Yeah,
financial situations.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I wonder if then it's like a formal notification, but it gives them like a longer amount of time. It's not like in 1 month you need to have resolved this. It's sort of like this is your first formal notification. We of course want you to be part of this. We don't want you to lose your deposit, but we need to sort of negotiate a way forward with a bit of a long time. Like it's not just super quick because COVID's still a
yeah,
big deal. And I don't know what their situation
point.
is, but yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So
some
that's
really
why.
good points in the chat. I don't know if you're reading them, but there's some people are putting in there that Avi, you might want to look at that because a lot of them I don't know. You might want to look at the chats and answer some of those questions.
Oh, okay. Manuel's about maintenance fee.
And also
So yeah, in order to pay the maintenance fee, the person needs to be, legally owner of that plot. That's at least the previous, practices. So we can't really charge them when they first commit, because there might be some legal issues with the plots, hopefully not, and several things, and that can hinder the selling process because we haven't really gone to the notary. So this is just a commitment between TPEN and them so far. So
how
it's
much is
not
their deposit so far?
100 million.
Can I say something
Yeah.
about maintenance fees? Well, you can call it different. I mean, I don't want to seem petty about it. If someone says he wants to buy and wants to join, that's great. But maybe they should be given a notice that the whole process should take, I don't know, 3 months. And from that moment on, we need to put some
Hi,
money.
Johan.
We need to put some money aside for, call it differently. Don't call it maintenance fee, but because it's costs that this plot generates, or so I know you call it differently. You don't call it maintenance fee, but put it aside for that.
Yeah, I think that would go
to
to
restructure this, as Mel put, in favor of restructuring things for plot sales. I think it needs to be relooked at and some guidelines put in place because it's been a year and a half, if I'm not wrong, that they put the deposit down before the COVID. It's maybe even a year before the COVID. So I don't know, we're being really lenient and not to our advantage, I think it's just, we need to set some policies.
Actually, they paid deposit by January 2020, so just 2 months before the COVID hit, and they were in a process of getting some loans from the bank. So Faisal was working in Singapore, so they have good track records by the banks, and a lot of them offered. So it was quite positive, like, this is gonna go through. But then COVID hit, Singapore closed, he's always closed. The bank closed the credit because they focus on COVID-19 programs. La 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 la. So yeah, it's like a trickle down effect. But my suggestion is I can contact them one last time to, for us to have a meeting, CC and him, and just to discuss openly and to come up with a good solutions for both. But then, if they still lack on responding, so I think we should make decisions. And we
That
can
sounds like a
discuss
good
that
plan.
during that meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Yep.
Avi, has that, the deposit money, has that been spent? Is it rolled into the budget?
Yes, I think around 50 to 60 million is being put at the deposit account, and it's being paid to cover the maintenance fee for those who still have monies owed, and to cover the maintenance fee on that.
Million?
So, sorry?
The deposit was 400 million?
No, 100.
Oh, 100, sorry. Okay, good, thank you.
All right, guys, the time is moving on, and if I think maybe time to move on, shall we? Because we've got a few more points on the agenda. And we've got
just
about
one
a half hour left.
really quick question, Sandy, if I may. Wondering if, Avi, that you can share with us either now or in the document kind of a rough picture of our balance sheet. Maksudnya, like, what our assets are and what our liabilities are. Plot 20 is worth quite a bit, I think. And we do also have some debt, right, that we need to pay out. But we're in a pretty positive position, yeah? If plot 20 comes in, we're still in quite a good shape financially. Is that right?
Not just pretty good shape, it's an amazing shape financially. Because the plot is offered at 2 billion rupiah, around $140,000 or 50, I don't know the current rates. And from that amount, we would pay around 300 to 400 millions to settle all the dues and to fix electricity when we want to fix it. But the rest will come to deposit, how do you call it, development accounts. So, if we want to do something in the neighborhood, we can definitely, make that dream come true. Like, like the last time we are thinking to have some small house from, one of the members' plot to be rented, and then the sell percentage will go to TPEN and all those things. You name it, we can be wild with ideas when the money comes in. but yeah, at the moment it's still on progress.
Okay,
On
folks, can
on
we
the
move
last
on?
note, since Jonathan missed the presentations, hello there, Jonathan. I'm gonna send the PowerPoints to the WhatsApp group and also to the emails.
And also this whole AGM has been recorded, so you can look through it.
Yeah. That's all from me. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, Johan, back to you.
Not really back to me, because we're moving straight on to the maintenance fee discussion, which is the next thing on the agenda. And this is Selma is ready to roll.
Well, a lot of it has already been discussed. So in the PowerPoint meeting. So basically, I just feel that encourage everybody that's a part of this neighborhood that has made the commitment, that I think one of the most important aspects of a community is integrity and communication. So I think that, a good point, it's like, if you can't, we've tried to look at it many different scenarios. And at the moment, what we've done, or what the CC has done, is to ask for a minimum payment per month of 1 million rupees. And if that can't be met, then there'll be a 3% late fee put on that starting in July. And that is from the CC. I think that everybody has made a commitment at one point to join this neighborhood, and it's important to just keep communicating. If you do have issues and you can't pay, I know it's always difficult to call and say, oh, I can't pay, but we're a very, very understanding group, and we really try to work with everybody, but we can't really continue to develop this, which is to your advantage. You're either going to live here or sell your plot, that we keep maintaining the property here. And it's a lot of work. Like we're constantly, I know Sandy and I both, and Nongain and all of us living here daily put energy into keeping it looking wonderful. So if we do have buyers and different things, and the maintenance fees are very much tied into that. And yeah, some people have paid a year in advance to help the financial situation so we can keep with the running cost. This particular month, as Avi said, you know, we have enough to pay 1 month. So we're really going from month to month at this point, and the maintenance fees are very important to keep it running. So what we'd like is if everyone can make a commitment of minimum during these hard times, 1 million a month. If you cannot, please speak to Avi, I guess is the treasurer at this point, and see what other thing you can do. And one of the things that I think has been the most frustrating for those of us living here, or the CC in particular, is when we get no response at all. That also keeps us going. You know, we are understanding, we do realize it's difficult for everybody. I think we're all in the same position. I mean, my business is in the red big time. And, you know, I think all of us have these situations, but to just maintain your integrity and your commitment that you have made, and so that we can move forward. Basically, that's it. We really crunched the numbers to try to give everybody not living here an extra discount on their maintenance fees. As of yet, we cannot. It is on the cards. We have looked at it quite strongly, trying to see if that was a possibility to help all of those who aren't living here, that aren't taking advantage of the veggies from the garden and swimming in the pool and living in such an awesome place. But at the moment, we can't afford that. So due to plot 20 and to maintenance fees not being paid, we're just in that position. We can't at the moment. And we did do a 10% discount for everybody this year. Everyone is only billed for 11 months instead of 12 months. So that's pretty much it. Just communicate. And if you can pay more, great. I mean, we're just trying to those who are really struggling financially. We would ask if it's 1 million a month period, rather than no payment at all. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, one other thing that I don't know if everyone's aware of, that I'm not in the CC, but was for 5 years. In case your plot is for sale and you sell it, the maintenance fees that are unpaid will be deducted from the selling of the plot. That's written in the contract, just in case. So everybody knows, it's on the same page. It's not a penalty, it's just how it's set up. I love all you guys, and you're an awesome group. That's all for you.
Thank you so much.
Avi's probably the best person to answer them, actually.
Thank you, Soma. And before I hand it over to Mel for her section of the discussion, I just wanted to summarize a couple of things and just say thank you, Avi, so much for all of your work as finance officer, basically for this community. That's lots of hours of unpaid labor. That's highly skilled labor. I could not do that, and I don't know who else could. You know, I bet Mel could. I suspect that Mel could. I'm not saying that she should take that over, but you know, who has the skill? I would not think Sandy could do it. I'll bet Soma could probably do it, but she'd hate it. She'd get out the abacus. But listen, here's the thing. I want everyone far and wide to hear this. And I've been guilty in the past. You remember years ago, I was always the one getting the third reminder on the email before I would pay. And I heard today how demoralizing that is. And I'm thinking that this really made me think about Avi and Ami in the office, and you know, Jonathan or others that are far away don't know Ami probably, but sweet person. And I just think, you know, this lack of attentiveness on our part is crap. You know, we really need to get with it, because it's the Avi is living right here in here in Taman Patanu. And so is, you know, whoever is there, but Avi's right there, Soma's right there. These people are holding it down for us that aren't there. And look, I got a plot. I haven't built on it yet. Who knows if I really ever do? I want to. I'm not trying to sell it yet, but even if I was, you know, or if I wasn't, the point is keep the place right, because we all got into it, like Soma was saying, for the right reason. And the plots aren't that valuable if the place isn't maintained. And we are at that crisis point, with the finances. So we've got to make sure we're paying up. That I just wanted to say it from that perspective, and it's great. It's worth it. It's really a great place. It's too bad for those people that need to sell and can't end up building the dream home there. You might want to think twice about that, because Taman Patanu was turning out even better than we thought, despite the shingles, and they're not contagious. On to you, Mel.
For the record.
So, wait. Okay, then thank you for saying that, Lungina. Please clarify that right away. Shingles are contagious. Stay away from Sandy.
Soma, you're on mute.
You're
Okay,
only
yeah.
contagious if you
Let's
have
move on.
box.
Right.
Okay, Mel, go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, I really echo what Soma and Johan just said, and really thank you so much to Avi and to Ami for keeping the finances going. Like, that is no small job. And all your volunteer contribution has just been so incredible and spectacular. Like, thank you so much.
And the clarity that comes with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know it's tough because like we literally are on a very modest budget, and continuously there's requests of like, how can we make the budget even less? How can we reduce the maintenance fees? And I feel like, you know, you've worked so hard to find solutions, and we don't have a lot of more room to you know, cut budgets. So at some point we really just need to be like, okay, this is what it is. This is what it costs to be part of this. And, you know, and also this is what keeps our land valuable and livable. So anyways, moving on to the next subject, is about Taman Patanu land legalities. And so just to give you a refresher on the situation with the land legalities. Am I delayed at any point? Because I see like maybe there's a bit of delay. Am I good?
You're good.
Okay. All right. Okay, so if you recall, you know, the way that the Taman Patanu land legalities occurred was basically the land was put into 3 people's names. Some of the plots, one person's name. So, you know, for example, some of the plots are in Avi, Petra, and Gaday's name, and some of the plots are just in Petra's name. And, you know, those individuals volunteered their names to be on these certificates because at the inception of Taman Patanu, there was no legal entity that had been formed that could actually be put on the title of this land. You know, so even right now we have a perkumpulan, which is the association, a nonprofit association of Taman Patanu. But even in that scenario, that name couldn't be put on as the holder of the land certificates. And that didn't form up until later anyways. So because of the nature of Taman Patanu, it's been a bit of like trying to figure out what works, and there was no legal structure that really fit the mold at that time. And so, basically those individuals, Petra, Avi, and Gede, still, like, for the most part, especially for the foreigners who have plots of land in Taman Patanu, and also the common facility land itself is also in the names of Petra, Avi, and Gede. That's where it stands. And so if you remember, like, we had the home prep payments that we all had to pay. So part of the home prep payments was phase 1 land legalities, which was to create the certificates for the land itself and the cost of doing that. And then the phase 2 was to shift the names of the certificates out of Petra, Avi, and Gede into each individual plot owner. And so that was the phase 2 that was supposed to happen. However, 7 years later, many people still haven't done that shift. And so this is important because obviously you, as a owner of your plot, you want to have legal rights to your plot, right? So putting it into the name of your representative, whether it's, luckily for Indonesians, it can just go into the Indonesian's name, and that's been that way for a long time with the Indonesians have joined, so that's easy. However, for the foreigners, we need to, and me included myself, shift that land out of the existing name and into either a name or a entity that can hold the land. And so I've been doing I haven't been on the CC, but I've been doing some contribution to Taman Patanu to do some due diligence on this. If you recall, about a year ago, I arranged for a legal advisor to host an online workshop for us all about this subject. But then right after that, COVID hit, there's that phrase again. And that legal advisor got super busy, and also all of us, like, it wasn't the right time for that. So regardless, now is a time to bring that topic back on the table, because I feel like it is quite important, especially because, obviously we don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, but, like, to have your land in the name of somebody else without the right kind of setup is a risky thing, right? Should anything happen to those people. And plus, it's also not, it's a liability for those people whose names are on there. If you haven't been paying your land tax, for example, it falls back on them. There's also types of restrictions on how much land a person can own under their name and things like that. So all this to just give you the background on why this is really important, how we came to this point. And now I want to just share that some of the findings I've had. So I've been myself and Nana and Dayu. So Petra has been appointing Nana and Dayu to be helping out on this matter as well on her behalf. And so they've been really helpful. So the three of us have been doing due diligence to talk to 3 legal advisors to get 3 different independent opinions on what we should do in terms of legalities. So we've explained all the situations, we've given them all the maps and certificates and all the information they need to make that assessment, and met with them and given them long briefings about it. And it's kind of come to a general conclusion. All 3 of them have the recommendation of what to do for the legal setup. And this very much echoes actually what the workshop from over a year ago was, which was for the foreigners to create their own PMA, foreign investment company, to hold the title of the land. And, we weren't advised that before years ago at the inception, because it was a lot harder back then to create a PMA, and laws were different. But now this option has emerged that is a pretty solid option, and is being widely used by many people to have foreigners be able to hold land title in Indonesia. And so basically, I'll just share my screen to show you some of the costs that are involved that we got from our due diligence. So let me just pop that up. Okay. Wait a second. I don't know if that's working out. Hold on. Google Chrome. My screen. Okay. So just adjust this. So Nana, Dayu, and I met with these 3 legal companies here at the top. SSI was the team that did the workshop with us. Harry was is a notarist that Soma's worked with previously, and EBC came as a recommendation from our network as well. And so this is the cost to set up PMA land ownership, which basically means what they're advising is that each foreign plot owner can set up their own PMA to own the land. And so the cost of setting up that PMA is listed here. So, and then in addition to that, like this is what is included below. So all these, the standard like company documents and things like that. In addition to that, there is, you need to get a registered company address, and the agent, in this case, SSI, can provide that for this amount per year. If you don't need that address and you have another address for your PMA, then it would cost 2.75 million per year to file that. So that's kind of like the general costs of what we're looking at. The last part is if you are not using the agent address, usually then your office address will have to get this like environmental permit, which is 15 million per address. So the idea is that each individual plot owner has a PMA for their land. And this is something that I'm pretty certain that I'm going to action this quite soon for my own, to get it out of Petra's name and into the name of a foreign investment company that I create. And I'm myself quite drawn to work with SSI because they have people who can speak English really well. They're quite professional. They've worked with many foreigners. Harry is great, but he doesn't speak English very well. And some of his costs weren't like, although it's cheaper, it felt like it was a little incomplete, his quote, and it would take more work to get that. He also has his office in Kerobokan. He's a bit more old school, if you know what I mean. And then the ECB, I felt like they were overpriced, and they were more like a standard legal office that would start charging you per hour for consultation as well. And so I just felt like that kind of was like going to get too expensive. So I'm going to pause here and see if Nana has anything that she wants to add just to the topic of the PMA setup. Nana, do you want to say anything?
No, I think you covered them all, Mel. Thank you.
Okay, great. So the other option that came onto the table was about hak pakai. And that's a different way, that's like a title for foreign individuals to own land in Indonesia. We've gotten the details that like the applicant must have a kitas, a working permit, to be able to hold the hak pakai title. And then, you know, there's new omnibus laws coming in around that around like how long people can hold it for, etc. I myself felt that this option, I still felt more solid with the PMA option, because I felt like it would be easier if I was to sell my land in the future, like that, you know, you sell the company, you sell shares in the company and there's a transfer there, as opposed to, you know, having to see if like the next foreigner has, if a foreigner is going to buy my land, that they have a Kitas or working permit set up. Yeah, that's just a little bit of my internal thought process. What it is that each one of us as individuals can choose how they want to move forward, right? Like these are just, what we did here is just gather information to help people make a decision and to help fast track that decision and find someone that's good to work with. Of course, you don't have to go this route, but this is what we found and we wanted to share that. What else did I want to say to that?
Mel?
Yeah.
Hak Pakai, just as a matter of interest, what are the costs to set up the Hak Pakai option?
Yeah, Nana, do you have info on that?
Yeah, so the price for a hak pakai is really depend on the size of your land. So it's varied. And one of the source that we have, Pak Hari, confirmed that their cost is 20 million to do hak pakai, and then you have the tax on your land, which again depend on the size of your land and the area of your land and so on.
Mm-hmm. And I believe Soma has done hak pakai in the meantime before she was transferring it to her land to her grandson's name, I believe. Soma, do you want to speak to that?
You need to unmute.
I'm working on it. There we go. Yeah, I did it because my situation is a little bit different. I have children that have grown up here and also grandchildren that have Indonesian passports, etc. So in 3 years I can, and it was before the PMA was really out of reach. The laws have changed since I've done that. And yeah, I probably would make the same decision as Mel, with going through the process, because I've done that and all my land is in hak pakai at the moment. And it's quite a process also, just to be aware. Well, they all are. They involve, you know, some due diligence again, and getting all the documents correct and signed, and finding a good notarist is a good key to that, because some notarists took 5 years and the other one took 2 months. So, you know, it's a variable depending on who you choose to use it. Yeah, I probably wouldn't choose that option knowing all of this information that is new from when I've done it. So yeah, that's my experience. My land is in hak pakai at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing that experience. Another thing to note is like it used to take like sometimes up to a year to establish a PMA, and now it's like it could be in a matter of weeks done. And so that's also like a huge benefit of doing it right now. And right now the climate is really good for it because Indonesia is seemingly more lenient and open to these PMA establishments. So I feel like there's a bit of an opportunity here as well. Of course, you know, it involves costs and it involves paperwork and it involves working with a legal firm. It also involves not only the cost here of setting up the PMA, but also to transfer land out of someone's name. There's a buyer and seller tax on that. And because, you know, with the people who have put their names on their certificate, you know, it's not their responsibility to pay the seller tax, because it's basically, you know, they nominated, they were nominated to have their names on that land. And so as individuals, like for my plot, I'm going to be paying the buyer and seller tax on it. And so that's a 10% tax on the value of the land that is put into the contract, which you can choose how much you want to not put as that figure, right? So those are the main fees to be paying attention to, along with, of course, if you have a PMA company structure, that you need to every year submit your financial reports to the government and pay any tax on profits. Of course, like with my land, for example, I was like, at first that was really a mind-bendy concept. I was like, what the heck am I going to put down as like my accounting statements and things like that? But basically what I'm imagining is that the revenue quote for the company will be money that myself and Christina put into the company to maintain the property. And then the expenses are the expenses of maintaining. And so that's how I will file the accounting paperwork. And of course, you know, you can hire people to help you do that. And it should be a fairly simple process because it's not like we're having thousands of transactions like a regular company would. So I'm going to pause there and see if there's any questions on that.
Yeah. Well, quick, I have a
But-
question. Well, it's a different one. I guess it's not an option you guys looked at. What if a different Indonesian person to put it in that name? You didn't consider that at all, did you?
So, I mean, it's kind of up to you on how you want to do it. If you have someone that is really like you feel like you could trust and it's like another Indonesian person's name and you create agreements with them, that's also possible. It's just that previously like nominee arrangements like that used to be more common and they're becoming less common. And because there's just been sometimes issues with that, right? You're not protected by law and it's in the gray zone and you have to really make sure that you trust that person. And then also what happens if something happens to that person, you know? So those are considerations.
Yeah, Mel?
Yeah.
I heard from some friends that in order to set up a PMA, you gotta have some investment money coming into Indonesia, and they were mentioning around $1 million to be shown to the government that this is the money you're gonna, you know, invest, so to speak. Is that still the case?
Yeah, so there is like a working capital requirement, but like all these places, like nobody's actually really doing that. Like they'll put that it's due on the balance sheet at some point, but then no one's really paying it down.
If I can answer that, Mel. So Mbak Afi, what SSI mentioned and also Pak Hari, the capital you don't need to actually put it in, but you need to make an agreement, notary agreement that says that at some point in your life, you're gonna be able to put that number of money, but nobody ever checked that. And they're pretty confident that it's not gonna be any problem. The usual life story in Indonesia, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
I have can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So about this obligation to have $1 million to create this PMA, which I understand is creating a company. Now, someone said that you don't have to put $1 million down, and they're pretty sure that. What if the government turns around and says, "Okay, guys, now you who have this PMA, you agreed to at some point to bring some money in, you don't, so we're taking the land off you." I mean, I know this is the worst case scenario, but is that a possibility? That's one question. And the other question is, I mean, thank you first, Mel, to trying to find all this out. And the way it looks to me, I would pretty much go along with your decision, because I don't know I could come up with anything better than what you're doing and from here. So I'm sure that's a really good solution to go with this SSI company. Have you approached them to say, what if we're 3 people doing the same thing? Would they give us a discount on that? For example, because I see it's about a cost of $2,770 to setting it all up, and then a cost of $470 a year. So if we approach them that we're all from the same location and they can do it all at the same time, would they be willing to make a reduction, because it's going to pretty much be copy and paste for them?
Good
Yeah,
question.
Donna, do you want to speak to that?
And then the
Sorry,
last
I'm
question.
on mute. Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead, Manuel.
The last question, these PMA, are these timeless? I mean, as long as you have the company, as long as it belongs to you. It's not like a 30-year contract or something like that.
Yeah, so let me answer one by one. Your first question about will the government be able to take your assets? There is no guarantee that they won't be able to do that. You're right, but we're talking about somebody who's been doing this for a very long time, SSI and Pak Hari, and they're notary themselves to protect you on that. And you can actually put your land as an asset, so the value of your land can be put in as a capital as well, I would imagine, and all the costs that you're going to put in that can be put in as a capital at some point through the accounting system. But yes, there's no 100% guarantee on that. On the second one, will they have any discount if we coming from the same company? We talked about that with them, but they haven't given us any answer. I think because we also don't know how many people actually interested to do that. Once we know the quantity and the number and we come up together with them, we of course, I think can negotiate. Like you said, it's quite a lot of money. I would imagine they would do that. And then the third one about, sorry, can you repeat again what the third one is? I'm getting old.
The third one is, if this PMA has a time limit, that means if we go along with that system, then this land or land and the house that's on it will belong to us as long as we want, as long.
The company is as long as your company is active, that means paying tax and everything. The land it's safe, but if you're gonna put the land in, we will the land into the company name, the title of the land will be changed from freehold to hak guna bangunan. That's basically a land title for a company. That the land validity would be 30 years, and then you can extend it for another 25 years, and you can have a renewal afterward for another 30 years. So yeah, you need to reapply. However, with the new omnibus law, they were saying that it should not be a problem. And
okay.
Yeah.
There is hand raised by Rod, yeah.
Just a quick question for anybody who might know the answer. So first of all, also big thank you to Mel and to everybody who's researched these options. It's really helpful for all of us to know, and really important, and not really fair for the existing folks whose name it is to have it in their land. So big thanks to you too, Avi, for being willing to do this all this time, and hopefully, yeah, we won't cause you any issues, any major issues. But so it looks like the hak pakai would be the cheapest way in some ways, and the simplest way to do it. And my question is, let's say we want to convert the land from hak milik, right, which is the full ownership title, to hak guna bangunan, and then later on, let's say we or our kids or whatever want to sell that land. Does the price or the value of the land goes down if we convert it from hak milik to hak guna bangunan, right? I guess my question is, what happens to the value of the land? And if we want to sell it back to someone who's Balinese, for example, or Indonesian, and they want to convert it back to hak milik, what's that process?
So I'm gonna comment one by one as well. So the hak pakai that you mentioned first, Rod. So that's for the individual. The cost of that sounds like lower, but again, please remember also there's going to be another cost after that 20 million from estimation from Pak Ari, because then you need to pay tax of the land, which we wouldn't know how much is that until the tax has been issued. In terms of the changing of the title of the land from freehold to any other title, hak pakai or hak guna bangunan, it won't actually decrease the value. We were assured by the notary that it's just another title. It's the same thing like freehold. The process of going back into freehold land, if you want to sell it in the future, is actually pretty straightforward. So once you have the sell and purchase, and then you just change the title at the same time, it should not be any problem on that. And if you do put the name into the PMA, the best thing about having this legal structure of the company, if you ever want to sell the land, you actually just sell your shares instead of your land. So the company will still own the HGB if in that case. And then with that also, that you won't have the purchase and sell tax of the land, but only on the sales of the shares itself, if it's PMA. Is that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Just a quick follow-up question on that one is, in the first place, when we convert it from the existing landholders into the PMA, we still have to pay the tax or not?
Yes, we do.
We do, yeah. The 10%.
Yeah, that's the one that Mel explained. Oh, and if I can say on that, the buyer, and it's actually 5% and 2.5%.
So 7.5,
Okay.
and is that of the NGOP rate, or is that of a rate that we determine in terms of the sale price?
Both agents that we're talking about, SSI and Harry saying that's going to be on NGOP. So it's the amount of the land that's in your tax, and so it's a minimum amount.
And what is the NGOP? Last question, I promise. What is the NGOP rate right now for Taman Petani?
I actually haven't get that far. It's depend on your land tax. I can get back to you all with that and send. Maybe Mel can help me to send that information to the land, the homeowner WhatsApp, and I can ask some of the members who already have that BPN card.
Yeah, I can, Nana, I have just done that in the last 3 months, but I don't have it in front of me. I'll get that figure to you because we went through that to figure out the price of the land. It's a pretty standard fee for this area.
Yeah, great, thank you.
But I don't remember what it is off the bat.
Yeah.
Another thing to answer your question, Johan, was there are as many fees, almost the same amount, to transfer it into someone else's name because it's actually buying or selling. You're not just transferring it into someone's name, they're actually buying it in a way. So it's to transfer that you pay quite a few fees also. Because I just did that. So it's it's hak pakai. So I still had to pay the buyer and seller fee to do that, the 7% tax, and then the fees of putting it into hak pakai, another 20 million. So, well, actually it was more than that, but.
Sorry, about this 7.5% that we are supposed to pay, when we turn it, if I understood correctly, if I took this, my block now off, I think Petra's hand, and I would create this PMA, then I would pay on top of the fees that I pay to this SSI company a tax because it changes from her name to this PMA. And 7.5%. Okay, and 7.5% of what price? The actual purchasing price that I paid when I bought it, or is that another estimated land value?
It's the estimated land value in this area, which is a straightforward fee. I will look for it now to see if I can find it. I have to look at the contract, what it was stated. Dinendra should know that also, if he's still here, because he's the one that got the figure for us at one point. And then the notarist had it also.
Maybe it's also
I also just did some land sale and buying, and the price that I was getting for the tax is 300 million an hour.
Yeah, okay, we can use that number. Yeah, same area.
Because they're doing some zoning. They're doing some zoning, and our areas, Kamanu and all that, is kind of like consider Ubud, even though it's not Ubud. And the land office have their own price, they said. And the zoning in our area is 300% for land and 175% for agriculture land or rice field. 175 million, sorry.
Okay.
For agri land or rice field. So it's different.
Interesting. Good questions, everybody. And also, I just want to highlight that we will need a PMA for the common facilities land if we want to go ahead with that kind of option. So, you know, and that allows all of us to be shareholders in this PMA that owns the common land of Taman Patanu. And we could potentially shift out of the perkumpulan and put the maintenance fees, incoming maintenance fees and the expenses through this company. And this company would own the common facilities land titles. So that's a way, so we each have our own individual plots as if we're foreigners, and then we have the common land. And so I just wanted to highlight that as well. We should probably be considering in terms of budget that's coming up, whether it's we have the budget within that we can draw from, which I know the accounts are low right now, but maybe perhaps we can start saving towards that. Or if it's necessary that we pitch in a little bit extra to get this final, you know, setup ready. I don't know. So, but I just wanted to put that on the table. Petra, and I don't know about Avi, you or G'day, like if you have a time limit that you want to put on this, but like my, you know, my feeling is that the sooner the better we can get this done. Like it's the best in everybody's interest, like in our neighborhood as individuals and as the people whose names are on their certificate. That being said, you know, Petra was saying, okay, like it's been 7 years, we could give people like 6 months to a year to like really get this finalized. I myself will probably move faster than that just to get it off my mind and have peace of mind, and also take advantage of where the legalities are right now in Indonesia. But yeah, I think like maybe as for next steps, like it's about, you know, working with the CC for the common areas and for each individual member to kind of make a decision on their step forward. Nana, you mentioned SSI was willing to do some kind of WhatsApp group or something. Can you speak on that a little bit more?
Yes, so we have a contact with SSI if you're willing to go with them. And my suggestion would be create a WhatsApp group with both of their contacts. They will respond into that contact in terms of how you can move forward, or if you need more explanation from them, and create some Zoom call together and then discuss about the negotiation on how much it's going to be cost if you're working together. I mean, if you're doing all of this. So we will arrange, we can set up that WhatsApp group, then you can take from there. I think the new CC might be a good start for that now, you think?
Yeah.
Leticia put a nice side note into the chat too, as like, once you have a PMA, that PMA can actually sponsor your own kitas.
and you could get a work permit through your own PMA, and therefore eventually after, you know, a certain period of time, I think 5 years maybe of having a kita, you would be able to get a kitap, which is a 5-year stay permit. So that's also another benefit of having the PMA.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Thank you for reminding us on that.
Question though about the PMA, like it's a business, like, you know, I'm not really so familiar with that. I can't imagine that I could actually do this.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely thought about that of like, okay, we have members near and far, some haven't like managed the admin of a business before. And, you know, I think I've actually been involved, and I'm sure other people with PMAs here. And, you know, it's like a matter of having someone who can do the admin for you. So it's going to be some basic accounting, could just be on a spreadsheet of, you know, money coming in, money going out. You have a bank account.
But what money? There's no business. There's no money coming in or out. What is this?
Well, oh yeah, you can create a music studio. I mean, I had that same question too. And for me, like I said earlier, it's like, I would put the money in as the money it takes to maintain the property. And if I rent it out, people would pay money into that account. And so every plot needs, you know, whether you're paying your gardener, your cleaner, or like just basic maintenance, you can just put basic level of money coming in and money going out, and paying very little tax on it, just enough to, you know, have some kind of activity happening that doesn't raise flags, but also doesn't, you know, or you could, if you actually have a business here in Bali, if you want to create a business or have one, you can put it through there as well. But that's your choice if you want to mix the two together.
Just a quick note, I think it's pretty surprising for me. I haven't read the omnibus law, but it's pretty surprising that they would allow a PMA for that purpose, for owning a house, you know, because I think that Indonesia generally tries to restrict businesses, you know, that so if you're a PMA, you have to have kind of a big business with a big impact. So I mean, I'm happy to hear that multiple companies have verified that that's an option. It's just a bit surprising to me. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you do use a PMA for other businesses, whatever business that may be, your house is at risk, right? If you ever get sued, if you ever get into a legal problem or challenge, your house is at risk of being taken away. So probably not best to mix that actual, if it is an actual business, with any other kind of business. And yeah, I guess for those of us who do own, or I have a PMA here, and I guess it's okay to have multiple PMAs, but I haven't really looked into that. I'm wondering, maybe Soma, if you know, or anybody else who owns a PMA knows. I imagine you can, and I'm hoping it's getting easier now.
I'm not sure about that point, Rod. It's something that I'm writing down myself for that, because we're also in my businesses, there's a PMA, and your feeling about it is, and in mine too, it's kind of surprised me about being able to put a house on it. But the laws have really changed recently because of this whole COVID thing, and no people here, that they're trying to make it easier for the people that are here. And so the new PMAs that are coming out at the moment are quite fast tracked. Before it was always like, whoa, we're really buying into the system here if we go into a PMA, but that has all changed. The laws have changed, and it's quite easy at the moment. I mean, I'm seeing this myself, looking into it. So yeah, me too. I'm kind of old school, obviously, but I see that the new laws are quite flexible and lenient towards foreigners having a house here. I've heard it from many, many people is what they're doing. And it surprised me too, because I shied away from a PMA for a long time. Because you're always high profile, but now there's so many, it's not the case anymore. And it's what they actually would like you to do, because it's correct.
Just to add to that, we hosted a session in Jakarta, and it was pre-COVID. The government was thinking about the omnibus law, because the government's really trying to attract more foreigners. more foreign investment and more foreign workers as well. So it's maybe a combination of those two things.
One thing to look out for is just like, and you can talk further with the legal firm, like SSI, for example. But like, I think there's restrictions on like how you can be a shareholder in different PMAs, but I don't think you can be a director of multiple PMAs. So each PMA just needs to have someone's name on as director who signs off on everything, and as commissaris, the commissioner. And so I think you just can't be a director on multiple PMAs. But again, these nuts and bolts can be determined, finalized with the legal firm.
And something that Rod mentioned, I could imagine that they're making it easier because obviously it's a time of change, and when there's less tourists, they are happy to have people here that do things and are here and spend money, I guess. That's why they probably fast track it, but this is just a personal guess. I mean, I have obviously no idea how it works, but I could imagine that all of a sudden they realize that it is valuable to have some people here that spend and create stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Just to endorse that, our next door neighbors from the US just secured a PMA under three months. So Soma is correct. They are fast tracking the system and they're encouraging people to invest and settle here. So the system is a lot easier than it used to be.
Yeah, I actually created a PMA about 6 months ago to get an investor quitas with some friends of mine. And it took 2 weeks to be created, which was like mind blowing for me. And so, but we got in at like a really fast track time too. So I do feel like there's a timeliness to this offer. Yeah, this opportunity.
Right.
All right, I think that's it for legal for now. I guess what I'll do for next steps is I'll contact whoever it is as foreigners and see if you're interested and to go forward and give you the information for the legal firm so you can follow up with, or we'll just see next steps. And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and set up the WhatsApp group.
Mel, if I may, what's the status on Indonesian owners at Taman Pertano securing the certificate for the common area?
We spoke to the legal advisors about that as well, and they said we can create a pretty simple document. They gave us options for like the level of, is it going to be fully notarized? Is it more informal? Is it, they gave us like tiers of pricing. And so I guess we can just, the thing is that we were just like, oh, should we wait till like we form a PMA for the common areas and then do an agreement with the PMA? Because that kind of makes the most sense. But depending on how long that timeline is, we could make a temporary lower cost agreement. Yeah, we have options though. I guess I'll just follow up with the CC with that information and they can maybe look at the budget and decide what's the best way forward, I guess.
Sure, very good, thank you.
So Mel, maybe one last question from me. So on the PMA, the Indonesian citizens can be one of the shareholders. Is that correct?
Yeah.
But for the national companies, can foreigners be one of the shareholders?
What do you mean, national company?
Yeah, like
no.
Indonesian company.
PT local.
PT?
Yeah.
No.
The PT local, no, the foreigners won't be able to be a shareholder in that MAFI, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't want to take up too much more time of this session.
Yeah, past 20 minutes now of the hour.
Yeah.
So,
I actually got to go in about 5 or 10 minutes.
What's next on the agenda?
Wow.
It's the CC election.
Yes, and then the optional meeting for the plot sales for those who are interested in this,
It-
they can continue. But yeah, after this CC election, and then we actually can close the meeting.
Election
Long
is a funny
and
election
long
is a funny
and-
word. And the election is a funny word for this type of thing because we don't have
Yeah,
parties. We don't
no.
have parties or candidates. We haven't had campaigns.
Yeah.
I'm happy to stay on the CC. I know some people want off. I know some people don't want to get on. I guess I'll be alone on the CC.
But let's
Or me and Sandy.
let's check who want to continue with the plot sales discussion. Maybe let's check that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. If not, then yeah, we don't need it, the session, right? No one.
Well, Ajay wants to sell, right?
Ajay,
Yes.
Ajay,
Who else?
Bridge.
Richard and Maya wants to involve in the.
Okay, that's good. Right.
Hi everyone. It's Bridge. I would like to stay on for that. I just came on particularly for saying hi and being part of that as well.
Awesome.
Hi, Bridge.
Hello.
Hi, Bridge.
Hi.
Can we see you?
Yes. Hello. Hello.
Hey.
So I'm sitting at a gym / play area, trying to keep kids and as well as listening to everyone.
Nice. Multitasking.
Yeah, trying to.
How old is your son?
He is 9. This is the
9.
younger one.
Nice.
So what do we do about the session for the plot sales?
Is anyone staying on? Does anyone want to discuss that? If not, then it can be done independently. It doesn't have to.
I think that we should discuss it as a group and see, okay, how do we move ahead?
See, what I understood, the relevance of the group isn't really there because not everyone wants to sell and most people want it as a home. So it's not really relevant for them. As long as we keep the basic guidelines where in the sense where if we want to sell to someone, the person should be accepted by the group and so on and so forth. This is how I see it.
That's right.
Yes, and also, what do you need from us, from CC, to help you if you want to sell? That's something that maybe you guys can let us know at least for the the CC that can. Like a lot of question about how much the price of land. That's something maybe we can help clarify.
Sure.
And what do you need, to market that? We have agent here that can maybe help you to market those things like that. Yeah.
Like hire one agent for all the people who want to sell to represent all the plots. It's one idea that they don't make any money until they sell it on commission. That maybe we can look into trying to find people.
Sure.
So I think those who want to sell maybe stay on after we do the talk about the CC and however many there are here that are interested in selling, which is Petra, Ajay, Bridge, and Jonathan, I believe. But I don't know if Jonathan's still here anymore.
Maya also.
Jonathan, they want to just listen to it. They're not interested in selling, they just said.
Yeah, but want to join just to
Right,
info.
want to join the group.
Yeah. Santi, do you want to join?
Sure. Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Okay.
Great.
So what's the plan? We're gonna do CC discussion, and then after that, those who want to sell can go off, can stay on this meeting link and have a discussion. And then if anything comes up about what you need in terms of support from CC, you can send us send a message to the group.
Yeah, that's the problem.
may I say something now? It's 2:30 in the morning here in Portland, and I'm about ready to crash. But I'm happy to stay on the CC if you guys want me to. If everyone, if not, I'm happy to step
stay,
down.
Johan. Yes, stay, Johan,
But
please.
I am over here. I'm over here in Portland. It's a bit ridiculous somehow, but it's fun. I really enjoy seeing everybody, and I like to have this little job to do. But I'm going to let you have the rest of the discussion without me because it's, yeah, I'm a bit cashed
Thank
out
you
here.
so much.
Good to see you,
Thank you,
Bridge and
Johan.
Ajay. I haven't seen you guys in
Thank-
ages, and I hope that we actually meet again someday, you know, in real life, because you're fantastic human beings. Taman Patanu, no matter what, don't forget this moment.
Thank you, Johan.
Global
Yeah,
consciousness,
take care.
people.
Thank
Black
you,
Lives
Johan.
Matter, yo. Black Lives Matter.
Go. Yeah.
BLM.
Definitely.
Okay, guys,
Thank
I
you.
also gotta go. And
Bye, Sandy.
All right,
Take
Sandy.
care.
Right,
Thank you,
Sandy, you also stay,
Hi,
right,
Sandy.
at the CC, right? Just confirm
well,
that.
put it this way, I'm also ready to step down, but if need be, I'm also okay to stay on.
Cool.
Yes.
Thanks, Sandy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, me
Thank
too.
you,
I
Sandy.
wanna excuse myself. But as also I already told to Sisi that perhaps good that to have another member to to substitute me because this year is gonna be pretty hectic for me. But yeah, can you please maybe nominate one of you to have to be a CC member for the next round? Yeah. So that's it. Maybe thank you so much. Really good to see you all, and good luck with the discussion. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, you
Thanks.
want
Bye.
to leave. Huh? Yeah. So what?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to be in this plot cell discussion, but
No, but we
uh,
need to discuss who's going on next on the CC, I think.
yes,
And-
okay. I was going to say that. So can you maybe think of another person to replace me? It would be great to nominate yourself for that. Yes, please.
Rod.
Rod, would you like to continue your
I
your
would
magic? Your magic.
I
for
would
the
love to
CC?
nominate my wife.
Whoa, great.
Oh,
Honestly,
we need a woman on there.
Yes, I think she's gonna kick some butt.
Perfect.
Yay!
That sounds
Good,
awesome.
thank you.
We talked about it as a joke yesterday, but actually, as we talked about it more, like it became like maybe this would be good.
All right, I'll speak for myself
Yes,
here.
please.
New kid on the block. Haven't been vetted by any of you. I think there needs to be some gender representation on the CC.
Yes.
So I would be happy to participate from a distance, especially as Rod and I have been keen to move to Bali, and our plans were sidelined, as you know, in 2020. So yes, happy to participate. And this will also be a chance for me to get to know many of you. So thanks for
That's
welcoming the new kid on the block.
Yay!
Great.
Yay.
Yay.
Any other
Good.
women?
I would like to nominate Santi or Dewi.
Ooh, me too.
I've already, Longena actually already asked me that question. And at the moment, with everything that's going on in our family, I'm not able to do that right now. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for understanding.
And what about Dewi?
Dewi? Dewi feels the same way too. Maybe it's not the right time for us right now.
We've got other commitments as well.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
No worries. No worries. I would be willing to do it for next year, not this year.
Can we get Christina to like represent you in the meantime?
She already said no. She's got too much going on as well, and she feels like she's not able to do it justice right now.
What's the, so just so I understand what I've signed myself up for, is it several hours a month or and who's leading it?
Maximum 2 hours a month. So you have a monthly CC meeting. That's it.
Okay. And who's the head, basically?
You guys later choose your
I have to
or
get appointed.
If you, Tisha.
Yeah.
maybe you, maybe.
So let me just
At least
explain.
a
Maybe
year or two.
I can give background. Like basically, the chairperson is really in charge of just bringing people together for those monthly meetings, building out an agenda, just a few topics, usually a month, and just making sure the meeting goes smoothly. It's not that you have to do everything. It's more just like chairing meetings. And Angin has done a really good job of like delegating it out to like some tasks. Even he'll give a rotation and say, Johan's gonna lead the meeting this month. You know what I mean? So you don't even need to lead all the meetings. And then sending out some communication, ensuring that like there's like a little video that comes out of the monthly meeting that goes to all the members just as an update. And you know, there's also like the other people of the CC like help make decisions, or if there's a task that needs following up on, you share the task. If there's a big issue that needs to be discussed or policy that needs to be set, then that's like a more intensive moment. But yeah.
There's a message from Richard in the chat box. He said that he would also like to step down. So perhaps we need to also nominate one more person.
I think 3 people is good.
3 is good. Okay. So then Johan, Sandy, and Leticia, right? Leticia and Afi as the treasurer.
No.
Right.
No, what? Why?
Yes, treasure. We need a treasure. Who else can do that?
Leticia, how good are you with like spreadsheets?
Yeah, you are.
Are you asking me?
No,
Yeah,
Afi. Oh,
No,
sorry.
Tisha. We're asking Tisha, how good are you?
I'm gonna have to put my foot down. I do have a child and a job and a doctoral career, so I need to just I'm happy to be in the CC, not as treasurer, not at this point. But thank you for your vote of confidence, Avi. I really appreciate it.
But Afi, maybe you can share that with Ami, so you don't have to do that 100%. Maybe 50-50 with Ami, so it will less burden for you. So,
is there any chance that she could actually take on that job like 90%, and you could just spend 20 minutes a month helping her?
Well, usually that's the case, but with situations, I don't want to say the word because it's been too overused at this meeting. The workload is quite intense, but also because I have like this disaster works, the regular job. So yeah, it's been quite heavy this past year. But yeah, usually 80% of the work is Ami, and I'm just kind of like compile or just grasp the contents, the message of it. So yeah.
If we all send you a lot of love and hugs and maybe some foot massages once in a while, would you continue to serve? I mean, I really think that we should reward you. Anyone figure out some way to do that? Yeah.
So let's put this at what, Soma?
I agree that we should reward you. I've been saying this for years.
Avi, on the finance front, if there is a little bit of help I can offer, I can do that if it can be done remotely.
I mean, you're my guru, Ajay. You should be there.
Oh God.
You're like the spreadsheet master, Ajay. So maybe Ajay can be, the treasurer.
No. Don't give that to me. I will tell you. I will just bulk under pressure. So I would say that if I can support you, I will definitely do that. I will do everything to support you.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
So you can.
Hear that.
So I can be in the background. You tell me, Ajay, I need this thing. Can you help me? I will do that.
Okay.
Super cool.
That's
And if I cannot, I will tell you that also, okay, that Avi, I'm a bit short of time, or I'm under pressure, I cannot do it. So I'll be quite candid with you what I can and cannot do.
okay. Thank you. All right.
Right,
And
we are
what about
set.
Bridge?
Okay. So
Bridge.
Johan,
What
Sandy,
about
Tisha.
Bridge? Sandy also said that he was willing to step down. Does somebody else new want to come in? Because that's also good. Bridge,
I can come in.
you would like to come in?
Whoa,
That would be awesome.
that would be awesome.
I honestly, I'm obviously, stuck up with time as everyone is, but I'm willing to be a part of it. I mean, why not?
That'd be super cool. So basically then Avi will be the person on the ground so, because the rest are remote for now, right?
Yeah, I think we need to still have Sandy to also help with the day-to-day, because even though I'm here, I'm always outside, like going to the office and all that, and Sandy is here.
But I think Danendra, can Danendra
Yeah.
be?
So we are here, that we can bring points to, I mean, both Mel and I are part of the extended CC. So Mel has backed out recently, but I am here also on the ground and happy to fulfill that role. If like Letitia needs to ask me something, Bridge needs to ask me something, I can help organize here on the ground a little bit as backup. I think 3 members is actually a really good figure. It works. The more you get more involved, it gets a bit more complicated. That's just my take, but.
Perhaps
And I think
Sandy
it's
can
good
part of extended CC with
Yeah,
Soma.
Sandy has extended.
Okay.
I think it's good to have rotation as well. Sandy's been on the last like 2 or 3 CCs. So just having some new people step up and get involved, I think it's great. So awesome to have Bridge and Letitia and Johan, and maybe Johan should be the chairperson because he has already the experience of being on the last. Yeah, does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Makes sense.
And
Wait, are we
Avi,
nominating him without him being here?
Yeah, that's fine. He said that. He's
Oh,
leaving, yeah.
okay.
yeah. And Avi, I know, I'm sorry we haven't phased you out completely out of that treasurer role. It's hard that specialized skill set. I know that shouldn't be an excuse, but we need to find a solution for that. And I know we've already said this last year too. I do feel really more secure having you at the treasury during these weird COVID times, just because it does take some navigation to keep our funds in healthy shape. I don't know, that's just how I feel. And I'm sorry that you're in the position.
Okay. I mean, thank you so much for the compliments, guys. I have some ideas, but I'll share in the new CC groups later. But yeah.
Okay, so Longana, do you want to initiate the transfer of, the handover to the new CC and help them get set up and things like that? All right, perfect. Okay.
We'll do a call soon for the handover, etc. Yeah, cool.
Wow, what a great group. I love it that it's rolling over. And thank you, Bridge, for jumping in too. That's fantastic. And Letitia, I'm so happy. I think it's really nice. We want to feel you guys more. You're too far away. Now we bring you more in.
Yes.
Like that.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Guys,
So
I gotta go.
Yeah, so let's close this and then please continue with the sales discussion. Yeah.
Sure.
I'll set up the call with the old CC and with the new CC. So I'll let you know. I'll contact you. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
See everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Love you all.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay.
All right.
So we have.
So the development will also be accelerated a bit.
So Soma, are you also looking to? I don't think you are looking to sell, right, Soma?
No, she's not selling.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So who else? Who else is wanting is wanting to sell bridge other than yourself?
Us
Petra.
from Petra's plot.
Oh, Petra's plot. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And then I think Jonathan as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, Jonathan has been wanting to, yes.
Okay. So I think that I'm at this point really not clear how do we proceed other than saying, yeah, okay, I want to sell it. In the I didn't recognize Nana Sohan.
Hi.
Nana is actually representing Petra, but also both Dewi and I are here too because she's in the middle of a health session, so not sure if she's gonna be joining or not.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do we want to discuss?
Ajay, bolu main?
हाँ बोलिए.
Okay, so what I was going to suggest, I think from what I've seen the last couple weeks, Petra and her team has been quite aggressive in promoting their properties. Can you give us some sort of insight? What kind of results have you achieved from that kind of promotion? Santi, I think you're the one who's working with Petra, right?
It's actually me. I can answer that, Santi, if you don't mind. Okay, so we have quite inquiries from different agents. We haven't actually get anybody who commit to who wants to buy our property yet, but we do have other connection and possibilities come from that. Like we actually have quite a few inquiries also from friends. So personal network is actually pretty good to be used on that type of advertisement. So we text a lot of friends and give them all the information, and they sort of acting out also as our agent. So they and because Taman Petanu is also quite special in a way, like it gives it's attracted to certain type of people. So it's good to go through our network first. Although we have a lot of agents in our properties, and we got couple of requests that came quite serious, but nothing yet so far.
Okay, and is when you analyze where people are coming to see the property, is there anything particular that you could identify is a hurdle that's stopping people from coming in?
Right now, the most answer we get is our house is too big. That's one of the things that they're interested in general, and they like Taman Petanu. They love being in a community, and they come and see our house, and then it's the house is too big. They want something smaller, or they want to build something new or something like that. And as in general, if we have anybody who says that they're interested in Taman Petanu, we actually contacted the Taman Petanu members to follow up with them to see if they're interested to look at one of your land as well. So I think that would be good have as a practice.
Has that already happened? Because I don't. I mean, no one's contacted us. I don't know. Ajay, has anyone contacted you?
No, not yet. Okay.
No.
So see, one of the things, just as a side note, one of the things which I was identifying a few months ago was traceability of information. There was, there's that I'm hearing that some people are interested and there are people coming, but then they vanish. And some of us who are interested in trying to sell, we kind of don't have that connect to the right people who are showing interest. So if someone is already interested in Taman Patanu, that's about 30-40% of the work already done. So I would really be happy if we can kind of figure out how that communication can continue. If, for example, if someone, say, for example, if I am getting 2 or 3 people a month to come and see my place, but they don't like my place because of X, Y, Z, perhaps those same links can be, or inquiries can be handed over to someone else.
Yeah, I think that's when the CC was saying, like, let us know how we can help to inquire that, is to strengthen the capacity of the Taman Patanu team to be the bridge on that. Like, I mean, like to connect us. If somebody's seeing your plot and then we give okay, what other plot do we actually have other option in Taman Patanu and so forth and so on, and that person can be actually, that okay, we have this option, and bring the agent or the interested person through Taman Patanu. In my understanding, that's what been suggested to us. Like, we gave the number to the Nendra, and then the Taman Patanu team follow up on that.
Okay, so we basically need to figure out is if there are inquiries, where they've gone.
So one though there was this very
excuse me, pardon?
from the high school particularly, where the teachers asked.
Would you repeat that again, please?
Yeah. Yes. Now I'll repeat it. So what I was saying is that if there are inquiries, like you said, there are people who've been showing interest, but they didn't want the house; they wanted something smaller. That kind of fits perfectly for for Ajay's plot, my plot, because we have smaller plots.
Yeah.
And I would think if someone wants to not buy something ready, they want to buy something which is a land and build something, that again it helps us. So can we, or can you or what we'll do here's what I suggest. What we can do is when we have clarity on the CC on how we're going forward, perhaps there we can set up a process of, if there are any inquiries, how do we share it amongst each other?
Yeah, I think we can share that through Taman Patanu, if CC agree. I mean, I also don't know, like, what is the capacity of Taman Patanu team to handle this type of inquiries. But I should think that we should be able to do that, like, to be.
Sure. And I'm not suggesting that they be used for entertaining people or showing them the land or any of those kind of activities. That's a separate topic. All I'm saying is that perhaps if there is an inquiry and that inquiry is not being fulfilled, yet they're still interested in Taman Patanu, that can just go on to an email, and that email comes to the CC, and the CC knows 2, 3, 4, 5 people who are interested, and then that email just goes to those people. That's all they do.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. If STCC agree to that, that would be great. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's to benefit us as well. If anybody wants that, somebody like from your side, for instance, that the house that's ready to live in, then our place is perfect for that.
Correct. Exactly. I guess that's the idea. How do we support each other on this process as well? And I think this would be a good way forward.
I think so too. Yeah. Great.
Can I also ask you, in terms